Welcome to the Codcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for making this show a great time. The call-ins have been so fun the last few episodes, and not as eventful of a week in COD, but there's some storylines, some teams that we need to talk about. We're headed into the final week of the qualifying stage before Dreamhack Atlanta. It's the Pro-Am. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a different format, pool play. I think it's 3 different stages or 3 different stations people are playing on. Maybe 4, honestly, on the first day. Something crazy like that. So it's going to be a good time to put focus on the challengers team, see if anybody can beat a pro team, and kind of see where some of these teams that are middle of the pack, where they're going to end up at the end of the season. We'll have way more information after this tournament. But yeah, how you guys been, man? How's this week of COD for you guys? Let's start with you, Ben.
I mean, as you know, golf game's been, I just can't fucking hit the fairways, bro. When I can, we're actually solid. So trying to clean that up this week. Or go to ATL, play a couple rounds. But this COD's interesting. I was putzing around a bit with my tool, and there's a lot of matches this week that are kind of 50-50 matches against some good teams, which will make for some great COD. Might see some weird map sets just because it's a qualifier for a pool play. But I was putzing around my tool, and there are chances some crazy groups getting drawn. Like instant round one storylines of people playing their old team or 2 top teams potentially playing each other in that round or the next round. Like we may be set up for a really good Friday at Atlanta in a week from now.
Ray, so as we know, this is the Pro-Am and everybody's in groups. If you're kind of middle of the pack or just around the 6, 7, 8 spot, does it really matter how you perform in this stage since it is groups? What's the mentality like as a coach headed into it? Given the format,
the race for champs isn't super tight, but it's all that shit can get sneaky. Teams can sneak up on you real fast. I think the one thing that kind of blows for because I mean that's as a coach, if you're in the middle of the pack, that's technically that's most of the time that's what you're looking at. Missing champs is, in my opinion, unacceptable in this league.
Yeah,
you are royally messing up if you miss champs. So if you're looking at the mid pack you're showing it right now, it's Riyadh, Koi, even you can maybe put G2 Miami, but I feel like Miami's shown good enough straight now that we know that they're going to be good. Probably G2's far enough ahead of Carolina, 55 points is a lot at this point to stay in the year.
Yeah.
Toronto's showing strength as well with their newfound roster, and then Falcons would be the only team you're putting a question mark on. But the thing that blows is if you go look at Carolina's schedule for the remainder of the year in terms of scheduled matches, holy shit, brother.
It's really hard.
They need to get a good plays in this event, or it's
chalk, bro.
They got their hardest stage. Oh my goodness. So audio listeners, so in Major 4 in the online qualifier, they play Toronto Koi, the Paris Gentlemates, Optic Texas, Riyadh Falcons, and FaZe Vegas. I mean, that's the Boston schedule from this split, and Boston currently are winless, right?
Yeah. So, and we haven't the roster change that Carolina's made has been, well, just to be nice, we'll say has been more lateral than anything else.
Yep.
So it's not really giving you the thought that things are going to change there and they're going to start winning games against a good team. So with that being said, unless Carolina have an insane Major 3, and even potentially, I mean, they're not going to have a good seed for Major. They'll probably start, I mean, looking at that roster, they'll most likely start in losers for Major 4, looking at that, match slate, not roster. They need something incredible to make this race interesting. So with that being said, like you said, the mid-pack teams, it's more, at this point, bro, it's more about you have matches to give. It's more about finding your way through so that you can actually become a competitive team. Because we've seen Toronto have a good stage, good Major 2. They're obviously a team that can succeed. We saw them go toe-to-toe with Optic this weekend. Well, we'll get to that a bit later, I'm sure. And then Riyadh has shown their Major 2 online stage was, I mean, they were one of the better teams. If they were top 3 at the very worst, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's not like these teams can't do it. They just need to figure themselves out and get to a place where they're all doing things that are conducive to helping the team win. And if we have potential for champs being probably the most interesting event champs wise we've had in years, because I feel most of the years, looking back, at least from the years that I've been involved, 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, honestly, since the CDL's been incepted, it's only been really a 2-3 team race at champs. Like you kind of know, you kind of knew the teams. Yeah. Like, and then the rest of the teams would be battling for like 4th, 5th, 6th, that kind of placing, but you knew who the top teams are going to be. This year has an opportunity for some crazy upsets, just based on the seeding of the champs. Like right now, if seeding for champs was the same, you'd have Toronto playing FaZe in the first round, which
it's insane.
Again, dude. Like that's a good game. That's a good matchup to watch.
Yeah.
Same with G2 in Paris right now, and then Thieves in Miami. Like, bro, these are
such good matches.
There are no quote unquote freebies. Not saying there were freebies last year either, but just from the sense of looking at the teams across the board, we have really good slate of matches.
And even 1 versus 8 is like world champs 7 of like, or you
that's
know
what
I'm
saying.
So
like
it is pretty nuts.
There's the potential for some really, really cool games on the stretch, as long as the teams that are like on the bottom of that like 6, 7, 8 right now can find their game and play at a high level. I think it's going to be an insane end of year for that.
So after you bringing up their schedule, I would probably say, since like you said, you're right, they're probably going to start in loser bracket in Major 4. This is by far Carolina's best opportunity to bridge that gap, right? Like you're going to be in pool play. Riyadh's not looking good. Huge opportunity. Like they could come out of groups and kind of flip this, because
we have kind of to Ben's point though, we have like these groups could potentially be insane. Maybe Ben, can you share what your tool has been spitting out in terms of like what's your like? I mean, obiously it's really early. There's a lot of matches.
In a link, Go to matches and go to matches. No. So just go to matches.
Okay.
Go to the matches tab right now and just try to like take your guess on how the games go. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
so let's go Miami.
Because what you'll see is like, for example, I did a version of this where like, and then you just go through any result for each one and click recalculate in the top right. What you're going to see is that there's a good chance that Carolina and Falcons can play each other round 1 of the group. Like they both get drawn in the same group. Yeah, that would,
for Carolina, probably be best case scenario.
Yeah, there's a real chance that happens.
Because I mean, maybe G2, because G2 is kind of up and down.
I feel like all these matches we can predict easy.
If I look at any of the other 6 teams in the top 8 right now, like, yeah, Carolina's definitely like hoping for Falcons or Minnesota just based on recency and how these teams are playing. Any other team in that, so top side.
I selected all the matches. Now where would I go, Ben?
Go to top right and click recalculate.
Recalculate.
Top right of the screen.
Yep,
top right, right there.
You should watch on Discord, by the way, because it's no delay.
Yeah, you're good. Then when you go over to the seating tab and go over to Pro-Am, it'll show you the groups.
You're not sharing the right thing on Discord, Dan.
Oh, I'm not? Oh, I'm sharing the other thing.
You see here with those predictions, and you're showing Optic, Falcons, Carolina.
So this is an ideal scenario. So if the favorites win, which probably won't happen, but we went through it, it felt like all those matches were kind of guarantees for the teams I picked. But this would be an ideal scenario. If Riyadh are 7 and Carolina's 10, they have the opportunity to obviously knock Riyadh out of the tournament and then go on and get points. So there is a world where they could overtake Riyadh, but they have to have a good major. Like that's
why is Rock in Group D and not P7? Just out of curiosity.
Great question. So the way that amateur teams are placed in the groups is in reverse order of their global pro point standings, and Rock currently has more pro points than P7. Right. Now I don't know the full math because Rock is in losers bracket right now in the EMEA Elite, and there's a chance they don't make it deep and P7 can win. I don't know. I think it'd be very difficult to flip flop. I think P7. I don't think P7 wins TNA or the weekend they have enough.
Rock got 1st and 2nd on land, and you get the most points on land. You'd have to assume that it'd be pretty hard for them. And then the same team too. P7 has Snoop, who got whatever the pro points that you get for being a pro, but I don't know.
So who are these last 2 teams going to be? It's whoever makes it to the final versus P7, right?
Yeah. So
okay.
Basically,
but yes, that's a valid assumption.
P7 have a lot of points, but there are a couple of teams in the EU that have more points than. So there's a role where P7 get bumped back to Group A or B here.
I'm pretty sure.
I can send you a doc.
Yes, send me.
I'd be surprised if they move Rock in P7 regardless of I don't think they're going to rearrange the teams based on pro points from D to A for the amateurs. I think those teams were the first to qualify and will get dibs on Group D and C.
This is how it's done.
It's really all pro points again? They'll just reshuffle everything?
Yep.
Wow. That's whack.
You know what? I thought about it and I was like, you could do it both ways. I don't think this system is necessarily that bad, because you're theoretically giving Rock, who have played really well all year, a chance of avoiding probably the first or second best CDL team and giving them the reward of playing a fourth or fifth best team, they're still going to
Yeah, that's a good
potentially
way to
screw
look at
because,
it. Yeah.
as we have discussed, the top 5 teams in the league are very good. But I don't necessarily hate the system,
P7 Boston would be fucking heavy movie. Bro.
Yeah, storylines.
Yo, that would be a movie, wouldn't it?
And Ben versus Toronto instantly. Ben versus Toronto instantly from last year.
Yeah.
They plays two. You have 2 different event situations in that pool.
All right, interesting.
So, again, I will.
From I've been helping the Stallions out recently. Hasn't been as much as I've wanted. A lot of their players have been in CCL events, so we haven't got that many scrims in. But that P7 team is good. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're good. They're a good unit of players, and obviously we know all the players in that team have been at the pro level. Like Eric's made a very little stint, but those guys can play, man. I'm actually really, really excited to see this pro-am and see how the ham teams like Rock, for example, and P7 probably 2 mostly teams. If the Stallions make it, and of course hoping for the Stallions to put up a fight, but I think it's going to be a really interesting event, and it's going to be like if I was a GM or a coach on a professional team that isn't like, I'll just say good for lack of a better term, but like those bottom teams, bro, I'm worried. You do not want to lose an app team, bro. That's a bad fucking look.
It's a bad look.
Like,
I mean, it's like
look,
losing
bro.
to one of the teams, and then it almost like forces your hand into a roster change. It's like all right,
bro, you're losing to players that you can pick up.
Yeah,
like that is the worst. That
tough,
is like you are not doing your job if you lose to an amp team in that situation.
Like there was talent out there that could have made your team better, and you just ignored it and then
literally
lost.
like unless there's just that much talent and you made a lot of changes and the next up talent is better than the talent you picked up, but for the most part that's not really the case right now. Like
well, all right, this is gonna be a really fun event. I'm excited to see how the group shake up. But let's talk about some of our CDL matches this weekend and kind of where some of our teams are at post the minor. First one I wanted to talk about is Miami and FaZe again. There was some spice in that one. The tweets getting let out by Draza. He has to do a $2,000 PC giveaway. Here, let me
shout out Draza, by the way, for that.
Good content falling through on that.
Shout out to the man.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, great content. I mean, you can really tell on both sides. Like, I'm sure, like, deep down, there's some inner respect for the opposition, but they both just, like, want to beat the other team so bad. Like, Draza really thinks that, like, their play style is awful. Miami truly believes that, like, FaZe isn't a good team. Like, even the interview with Rencor, the way he said it was not blowing smoke at all. Like, when we asked him about the matchup, he was like, well, I really don't think FaZe is the best team. Like, you could just tell, like, they just have an edge over them in their head. And clearly, in-game, they play with extra confidence. We're going to pull up some VOD. We're going to look at the scoreboard, and we're going to talk about this matchup. And then also, Ben had some tweets. But before we get to Ben, let me start with you, Ray. In the matchup specific, what is the edge that Miami have over FaZe? And before you go, like, in my mind, it's just, like, the pace that they play with. FaZe has a good pace. They have a good system when I watch them versus other teams. When they play Miami, I don't know what's going on, but they don't look like the normal FaZe. Like I
don't
really
play as fast as they typically play.
I can't put my finger on it. So I'll give you the floor. What are your thoughts on it? What is the reason, man? Can you make it make sense?
Well, one thing to me that Rancor said in the interview that I found interesting is that they seem to try and model their game they try and adjust things based on the team they're playing against, which I've heard of teams do this. To a certain extent, you always adapt a little to the team you're playing against. Like you obviously do VOD and you kind of like find certain things that a team does more often than not. And then you try and adjust whatever you do to try and match, to play the most efficient way against the team and how they play. And it sounds like Miami have figured FaZe out in that sense. And to me, the biggest thing is, and we've talked about pace all year. And I mean, I know I'm a fucking broken record at this point, but I feel like Miami has struggled against the teams that play faster in general, just because, like we've talked about, they've been more kill oriented, which recently, like they've played with much higher pace. And I feel like FaZe this year, it's not like they don't play fast. I just think overall they seem to have moments of, what's the best word here, the moments of lull where they don't push pace unless they get the kills, I guess is the best way to explain it.
Yeah,
and Miami's really good at getting kills. And that's where I think the matchup in this case is the difference, is that the the focus on kills on Miami seems to put kind of a wrench in how FaZe wants to accomplish things on the map at certain points. If they don't get the kills to do it, then they have a hard time doing it. Which, I mean, that's an extremely generalistic way to look at it, because this would be the same with any other team, not just FaZe. If you don't get kills, then you can't really do what you want on the map, period. But they just seem to find a way. I don't know if it's just the way the players think. Is it a confidence thing? But these guys, most of the time we see them play FaZe and they beat them, they just outslay them. I'd be curious to see. I don't know, Ben, maybe you're probably gonna pull this up. Can we get like I would love to see an average KD of Miami against FaZe and Respawns in their last like 8 matches, because they're 7-1 or something like that, right? Like I think I saw a tweet saying they were 7-1. Like I would love to see statistics.
I think they're 9-1 map count. Yes, probably 7-1 respawn. It's actually
like
insane.
I would love to see statistics around that, because I think that would tell the story on that sense. And I mean, you look at the scoreboard for this one, just real quick. Like, I mean, bro,
no,
like,
dude, they like, ran through.
You're not fucking losing games when you're outslinging a team at as much. Like, don't care how efficient or not.
This is crazy to me though, because when I watch this game and I watch FaZe play Miami, like FaZe just like stopped rotating. They like stopped playing the game the right way at all. Like I mean, you're letting Metals go on a 15 streak. Like, it's just not characteristic of this team. It's a bizarre one to me, and even the way that this game started. I mean, they were up.
Oh yeah, look at the game started. I know, yeah, they were fucking smoking them.
It's
this
wild.
is the way they were losing this is the way they were losing a major one too, and that's why I tweeted what I said. It's like I just think that this is a team with two big FaZe's team's got 2 big X Factor players in draws in 04. Like when they get going, and you can see how they can beat Optic.
He's frying right now,
pretty handily on land.
Ben, look at you can't see that.
I'm aware, but then I'm aware, but then look what happens after this fucking hill. They don't get another point for a while.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they were blitzing them, and then it's just over. Like literally from here.
Boys, I hear you, but like, and I sent you a doc. I was very curious about this. FaZe Online right now, pretty much close to a flat 1 KD.
Send it to my backup, so I can pull it up for the stream.
And for a team with players,
I put it in the agenda.
And the coaching staff they have, that should be plenty enough to win most of your games.
Like you would think, but unfortunately, it's why I think they're a little bit. I finished my thought.
Here's my bone to pick. No, I have a bone to pick. You, man. Go ahead, finish your thought. I have a bone.
Is this it, real quick, Ben? Before
it's just look. I don't hate the way that FaZe play, and to your point, like I think on land they level up this year.
So online, Miami is by far the best slang team.
You see FaZe is 7th behind like Carolina and Toronto, but on land FaZe have been good. So like what they're doing when the game does slow down a little bit and they're in that land mode, like they're executing their game plan. I can't criticize that. But I can criticize that, and they've had this problem fucking all season. It isn't just a Miami matchup thing. Sometimes I just think the slang gets away from this team in the end of a first rotation, second rotation. To your point, Ray, they stop doing the basics. They stop getting fucking trades. Yes. They're getting 2-piece and 3-piece left and right, and they just get blown off the map when realistically they shouldn't. And it's frustrating to watch. I think what this team is going to be online. It's why I tweeted what I tweeted, because it's like I know they can do it at LAN, but online it's been a problem all year.
I don't think it's as simple as just kills though. But go ahead, Ray.
Do we really do you guys truly believe that teams play so different online and on LAN? Like, is that an actual
when you say
process?
You guys, who are you talking to? Me?
Like, I'm talking to you two. I'm just talking to you both of you. I'm actually curious to get your thought process. Like,
I don't think
you're going to every match trying to win and applying what you practice. This is not there are some listen, hold on. With the caveat, there are some players who perform better on LAN for sure. But like the way your team approaches the game, and when you spawn into a league match, the intensity might be slightly lower, but you're applying the ideals that you've practiced and that you've talked about 100%.
Then what the fuck are we talking about?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't think it's strictly just online to LAN. It's like a matchup diff and a mentality thing. Like when FaZe are in matches with Miami, they're losing their minds. And that's why I have the VOD up, so we can just actually talk about what's actually happening rather than like arbitrary.
Yeah, but hold on. They also held 2 losses to G2 this year online. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not just the reason I tweeted what I tweeted is it's not just this matchup.
Didn't they lose to G2 at the first event?
Pretty sure, yeah.
They also lost online. They also online before the event.
They got 3.
Okay, why are we talking about online?
They lost to Boston last stage and got outslayed in that series. Like after they pummeled them before. Like I listen, Ray. I know that 2 of these are your boys, and I think they do a good job this year and have really grinded out great LAN placings. Both LANs have been really good. I can't criticize the LAN play. But I'm sorry, like this isn't just related to the Miami series. There are too many respawns that I watch online, and maybe it doesn't matter because it's online COD, where they just struggle to get going from a slaying standpoint and play ahead from that endpoint. They just get blown away. And to be honest, to this tweet, just to finish my thought, you know, I thought this whole conversation was very funny because I tweeted this.
It
was on the way to the liquor store, and I'm like, why the fuck is Abuza replying to me? And then I responded. I'm like, well, respectfully, I'm still grounded. I was also like, why the fuck do you care what I think? And then he said, no one cares what you think. And I'm sitting here like, why are you tweeting at me? Like, this is a ridiculous situation. Like, bro, like, if you don't care what I think, like, what?
He's trying to stay on business, man.
But then do it on the map. Like, going back and forth to me on Twitter does what exactly? Makes you feel better after fucking getting pummeled? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think Abuza like knows, like, this is probably more so from him, like thinking, okay, these guys are way better online, but there's got to be a part of him and the rest of the team that just knows, like, they're in this matchup. It's been tough for them. Like, they're playing better COD. Like, Miami's playing better COD than FaZe in these matches. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, you can watch their minor match in the S&D.
Yeah.
You watch the S&D and the dude, they were getting trapped, like completely out-strategized and outplayed. You watch this respawn. A guy goes on a 15 streak. They were spawn killing them all the way back Fountain on P5 at one point. Like, they're playing they're playing way better COD than FaZe. Like, there's nothing else around or about it. I mean, yeah, maybe they're getting more kills online. They're a little bit more comfortable. You could say that, but like when you watch the game, they're also just playing better COD. So I don't know if I can just really heavily lean into the LAN versus online topic for this particular matchup. They've had 3 matches, 9-1 map count. Miami's just better in the matchup.
Which I get specific to this matchup, but my point was less about this match in particular, or more a couple of times. Like, FaZe's online record has been really good this year, to your point, Ray, because I think in some of these matches, like the Carolina match in this weekend, last weekend, by the way, they did not play great in that series. And they won because Simp fucking popped off last round. So let's not act like they played fucking like S tier COD outside of this match. Last weekend, they played C-level COD last weekend and went 1-1 because of it. They just got to play better online. And it is what it is. Like, if they just kind of get by, they play good on LAN, it's not really going to fucking matter. Because they're going to get results when it matters, and they're already qualified for champs. But if they want to win series like this online, they got to find a way to, you know, get on the front foot more often.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like FaZe trying things or if FaZe trying to get away with stuff that they normally wouldn't on LAN, but it's just not the same FaZe squad.
They're not winning their ones. And listen, I ran the numbers, and this is not a fucking shock to anybody, but if you outslay a team in a map in a respawn, you win 9 out of 10 times. Isn't a fucking surprise. Okay.
But I don't think it's them not winning ones. Like, we agree, and then we get separated when we get to that point. Because like we agree they're not playing the same way. And then you hit me with the they're not winning their ones. And I don't like that. That's not what's happening.
Because they're forcing themselves into position. Okay, because they're not playing straight up and playing the right way, they're forcing themselves into situations where they need to win their ones, because we're not rotating early, we're not getting set up, we're not forcing ourselves into positions where we can quickly trade kills. We're trying to break the front of hills and hoping that we can gun people, and then we're not winning those gunfights, so it looks fucking ridiculous. And Mills goes on a 15 streak. So I hear you, but that's the caveat to that and what I mean. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like I don't know, bringing it down too far to base level.
I have a question though. I mean, two things. First off, shout out to Twin for being a great teammate and getting his get back against Ben J last night in the Madden. That's some great teammate right there.
I don't even want to talk about that.
You got Jordan strayed real fucking fast. That was good plays by Twin.
Yeah.
Why did you use gun power?
Because I we're talking about Team KD, because this is like they've had this problem since Major 1 where they just like there's a lot of other teams that like are in their caliber that don't have a problem staying in the slaying battle with Miami or G2 or Carolina, but this
Miami's outplayed everyone this year. I know what you're talking about. Miami's like the highest KD.
I know, but I'm aware. But I'm giving an example of teams that I think FaZe should beat more often. And like they struggle against some of the mid-pack teams. They play down to some teams. They also play up to teams. That's why they won the event this year.
Did we not watch FaZe outslay Optic by 40, 50 kills in the finals?
Yeah, but I also lost them get outslayed by fucking C9 this weekend, or Carolina rather this weekend, and that was kind of what I tweeted. They played horrible in the Carolina series. You think they played good COD in that series? It came down to a last round on fucking Fringe.
Yeah, you know, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm more so just the aspect of us saying that this team has no gunpowder would be saying that they're consistently getting outslayed to everyone. We just watched them absolutely world star Optic in the final.
Read my tweet back again, Ant.
This phase Vegas team literally can't trade any kills the last 3 matches. Not really sure how they can win respawns with 0 gunpowder.
Yeah, I'm being fucking dramatic. Do you think I'm being dramatic? Do you think I actually may have 0 gunpowder? Like, get a fucking grip. It's being dramatic for fucking social media.
That's what you said, though, Ben. How are we not supposed to react?
Yeah, but that's how social media works, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, but after Ben,
line to this, what I'm saying.
honestly,
after
Ben elaborated, like you can't really argue. Like the statement that he just said was the one he probably should have said to begin with. But like they were not playing good COD, put themselves in a bad situation, then they have to win ones to get out of it, and they're not winning those ones. Well, yeah, it's hard to win ones when you're at a disadvantage. So I agree with that statement because that's what I saw. 100%. Sure. Yeah, like I just think that I wanted to get to the root of that because I didn't know what you truly believe, but I agree with that one 100%.
No, I truly believe they're a good team. I think for whatever reason in some of these online series, it's just they're getting away from their fundamentals and they're chasing the game, and then it's getting super quick away from them in the respawns.
Can you go to the end of the spree on medals, by the way? Because I think we need to shout this guy out a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
dude. Let's talk about Miami. Yeah, because he's been unreal. I thought he's been pretty
14?
solid.
Did he get 15?
15, I believe, is the
15,
total streak, dude. He was hooping, bro.
Dude, my guy was it 10 and 15 before this started?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
It's fine.
Man.
Yeah.
Everyone like this is where the whole like remember when Real got picked up, everyone was like, oh my god, medals, Real for medals, bro. This guy's good, bro. Like
he's
everyone
good.
needs to fucking get off his ass.
And
like,
he's been solid this whole year, by the way. He's been solid.
I think the inconsistency you can harp on a little bit, but I think that's more
it's
like a product of how the team plays and his role within the team, how they play. Like,
100%.
Like if you're the subs and you're being aggressive and your R's don't follow you up, and it's gonna look bad most of the time because you just don't have.
Well, that's why he's playing good now, Ray. The ARs are playing way faster. They changed their play style.
They have pace. They have pace. And like, I mean, we've talked about this last week where the meta is kind of like help teams. I don't want to say change necessarily their pace style. They just up their pace. Like it's not like they're doing things too different. They're just moving much quicker after they get their kills.
Bro, watch this.
Like, look at this. Yeah, look
this
at this.
Is fucking awesome.
Yeah, they were never getting to this point.
He could have blocked, but he pushed up. He wanted kills.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was awesome.
The way they play out the situation, bro. They're like quote unquote in cheeks. Like
yeah. There's 3 seconds left, right? And now we're at new. This is awesome.
Yeah,
they're just very, very good COD right now. Like this is the point. So with all the crap we've given Miami this year, like I don't want to say crap, but like we've talked about pace and their inconsistencies and being like kill dependent. Like I think this is the first time I've watched this team and actually believed in their chances to be successful now. Like we saw before, we were like, okay, yeah, let's see when it matters. Like we saw them win games while slaying teams severely. Like, I mean, obviously they're still slaying here, but from like an eye test and how they're going about doing their things with their kills, it looks way more conducive and consistent to winning games.
You could tell by their overload improvement too. Like they're winning a lot of their overloads now, and like that's how you can really tell.
I just feel like even the 2-piece you just showed from Rancor, I just feel like Rancor and especially Super's been pulling on a sub and like putting pressure like crazy on the map. Like he might be their fastest player now in certain situations.
Out of nowhere,
like,
he's just flying,
like,
bro.
Like, but these guys, like, bro, that's what they need. These guys, the talent was never a problem. Like they are good players, bro. Like, and they obviously have a good culture going on with their team. Like they seem to really enjoy playing with each other, and like they seem to be vibing when they're playing good. So it's like, to me, it's just sky's the limit with this team. If they can keep this going and actually not change what they're doing right now on land, like play to this same level of pace and aggression, I could see this team having a chance to win a major, bro.
And to follow, go ahead, Ben.
No, go ahead.
I just had a quick thing to follow up on that. I mean, we spent a large majority of the year, and really since like when this Heretics team got good, like last year, we would always say they get kills, there's no problem, but like use those kills to make the game easier. And now this is the first time that I can truly say like they're using those kills to make the game like easier. Like they're pushing the
consistently.
Consistently,
like
yes.
Consistently. They were doing that times before, but now we're seeing it like there seems to be very little hesitation in how they're trying to accomplish things after they get the kill.
How do you explain the G2 fucking series the next day?
Well, so we could talk about the G2 one because I talked about it on broadcast, and so did Chance, and we could talk about that. But the preparation G2 came in with that match, I thought was awesome. I mean, I think like with Colossus, how Heretics been running the 4 subs, super oppressive, really works against FaZe. Well, G2 had 2 ARs out, and Ray, as you know, you've coached and you've watched a lot of this game. And we just saw Dashy do it the day before on that map. When you have spawns and your team is like, rotating, playing well, and you get the early jump, an AR is super oppressive on Colossus. So I thought G2 just had like a really good game plan, just like got to P2, P4 early, had the ARs, and the ARs weren't even the ones in the hill. It was Estriel inside of the hill, and the ARs kind of playing deeper cuts, and like you don't have an AR to gun them out of those positions. And I just thought it worked really well.
They brought back the Florida Mutineers MW 2019 play.
It was a game plan diff, legitimately, and same with the search.
Literally like that right there is like playing rock paper scissors to a certain extent. It's basically like, hey, like you found you adapted your play style and you've had success on this map because of it, but it's been mostly, like not mostly, but it's been in part because of teams not willing to adapt to what you're doing. We found a way to adapt. I guarantee you that's probably something that G2 talked in scrims that week. Coach Looney probably cooked it up a little bit and was like,
shout
hey,
out
like,
Dan.
Yeah, shout out Dan. I'm sure he had a part in this. And it's if you have the right mentalities and you find these like little niche, like I guess strategies that counter certain things that other teams pull out, bro, you can sneak out some wins without really having to work too hard for it, just because you have the better like strategy going into the match. And like for Colossus, that was definitely the case, bro.
Did you
like,
see the S&D too, right? How they dominated mid-map. Estriel, which we don't usually see, was the guy getting pushed up, getting behind enemy lines. Like usually it's like Kremp trying to make a huge play.
Yeah, it's called.
But it was Estriel this time, and he was like finessing his life, and it was so frustrating for Miami. Like Super was never
really
comfortable.
Good series too.
He did, yeah, he did. A lot of objective work,
a really good series.
A lot of like just in search positioning to help his team. Like that was all right. So to answer your question, Ben, I do think that was a game plan diff. And G2 is a professional outfit. They're going to win. They're going to get some upsets here and there. I mean, you just mentioned the phase 1 at Major 1. There also were no new maps in that series too. So,
right. That's also one thing to me.
I agree with you. Just to get back to the Miami point, like I'm optimistic on Miami. It just is always with them. It's like, I really want to see them do this on a Sunday. We've been waiting for fucking a year and a half with these guys for them to do it. I think they got the tools to do it. I think it'd be really fun to see them in a grand final, and maybe this is the event where they get it done, likely probably against like an Optic or Thieves in that situation.
They just got to get to that final first.
Outlook, dude, I still think the outlook of this team would be so different if they didn't throw that game against Optic at EWC last year to make it to the finals.
I agree. Like so winnable.
Like, bro, they were. I mean, winnable, bro. That was probably one of the biggest throws I've seen in COD in a long time. Like they had it. They had it won. Like it wasn't. Like it was literally like they had to do everything wrong from that point in the game to lose it. It was a. What was it? It was a Hossie control, and bro, they were. That must have been so disappointing for them, to be honest.
I don't understand fans, and I guess like Ben, you kind of just like allude to that a little bit. Like you're saying this is Miami prop. I am just reacting and talking about what I'm seeing and transpiring in the matches. Miami have been good, like playing great COD. What is like they've
been playing great COD online for a year and a half. Like it's not.
What's the
maybe this version is a more efficient. Maybe it's a more efficient version of what we've seen even a year ago. But it's like, again, the bar that people get judged by is how you play a LAN, and they've had some close calls. But they haven't yet come in with a T2 or T1 placing on LAN. I think they can do it.
Shout out Kresk with the 20
Did he get top 4 champs last year, or was it top 6 when we beat him? I can't remember. I can't remember if we played him right after Thieves.
Thank you, Steph. Miss you as well.
I want to say we played him for top 4 at champs last year.
Sorry.
They've gotten third or fourth a couple of times last year. Again, I just think that the way that works though is like that's a good placing. Like the team like this, you want to see them take the step that your team took last year, where they can get to a final and have a chance. They just last year EWC was like such a primo chance for them to do it, and they just let it fumble through their fingers.
I mean,
it's
hard to win, man.
We'll see.
I think this event's a good format for them because they can get going. You got pool play, get a little bit comfortable. I think for them, teams like Riyadh, teams like some of these teams that are like bowed out early, you just kind of get a little bit more of a buffer and like what is an old school format.
Depending on your pool.
Yeah, depending on your pool, but you still do have opportunity to get warmed up at least. You can afford that first game. So yeah, I guess we'll see what Miami do at this major, but I'm pretty bullish on them. I think they're playing with the utmost confidence, and I do think they're just playing good COD, and it doesn't all rely on kills now.
Yep.
Because they're building bigger leads because of the way that they're playing, right? So
yep,
that's huge.
They're taking advantage of the kills. As simple as that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess to wrap that one up, we started with FaZe. Are any of us concerned about FaZe for the
No.
major?
No.
As long as 04, Abuza's had up and down last weekend, but as long as Draws in 04, they're somewhat close to level they had the first two events. FaZe will make it deep and can't win every event, but they'll be in the mix on Sunday as long as they play the way they played so far this year.
I know it's all we can react to, but we need to just chill on the recency shit a little bit. Like, just a little, Ben. Like, I get it.
Well,
You're seeing what you're seeing right now, but
FaZe are
like, you have
3-1.
to...
So,
Like,
I mean,
bro,
they've had a
like
good
these
stage.
guys play every day behind the scenes. We see such a small product of a team's progression and play and how they're doing. Like, it's just reacting to.
But I already explained to you how it's not recency, because I've said online they've had this problem all fucking year. It's not just in Miami series, you know. Like, yeah, the record's good online, but a lot of it is because you know what this fucking FaZe team's really good at is using S&E to grind out series when they're not bringing their fucking A+ COD on a given day.
All right, so let me
no
move us
come out
along
and play S tier every fucking series.
Let me move us along and take Ben out of the bullseye, and let's put me, your boy, in the bullseye. And I want all smoke here. So last week we had a huge talk about Toronto, where they're at, and like, do we think if they're an elite team or not? I said I believe they're an elite team, and they keep having to play Optic, and they're losing. And I saw after the Optic match, so many people, I think at the spearhead of this, it was Sam LaRue Octane, who I have great respect for, and I talked to him a lot about COD. But he said that it was a disservice to Joe Deceives that they lost that series. And I don't think I've disagreed more with a statement in so long. What the fuck are we talking about? When I look at, and excuse my language, but when I look at the match, they won 2 respawns. Like, what? How is it a disservice to Joe that they lose the series? They lost both S&Ds. The problem that
I think just to, I don't want to, sorry to cut you off. I just more so, I think what he's trying to say is more how well he played and them losing the series.
Okay, yeah, he popped off.
Like, that's what he meant. Yeah, that's what he meant.
They won they won 2 respawns. They lose the Colossus, which, like, okay, Optic on Colossus, like, yeah, Optic's a good team. They're gonna win one of the respawns. They lost 2 S&Ds. And like,
yeah, but do you see like I think the reason it's happening is because if you go through all the maps and you watched it, it like you had a fantastic series. Toby had a couple of good maps, but like it was such one of those weird series where like Kipson Insight didn't give them a lot in this series, and it's like Joe dropped 130 kills in 5 maps.
2 respawns. Like, I mean,
yeah, but they had 2 guys drop a 0.7. It's gonna be hard to win 2 searches when 2 guys dropping a 0.7.
I can't agree with that. I thought Jamie did great in the game 5. He was getting first bloods. He's playing his life. You know, the couple of rounds, Dashy got a kill. He followed up with a kill right after. I just thought that their S&D game plan was terrible, as it usually is when Toronto loses series. The problem that I've had with them for a very long time has been their S&D.
I mean, for game 5 specifically, I'm just looking at it, like the sling was even. So
yeah.
Like, I mean, they
lost a
kills,
2v1 off the rip. They would have 3v3 situations and wrap the entire map and try to like retake from there and give Optic all of their side of the bomb site on Den. I'm just like, okay, Toronto's just losing their mind when they get into these S&Ds, like point blank period. So to me, I don't think Joe got let down at all. I think Joe had an incredible series. I think he played really well. But I think this kind of further proves the point of like Toronto is an elite team. I think they should hold their heads high after this one and just keep working on their S&D, which has been the problem with this team for 2 years. People seem to ignore it. People seem to cling on to Insight not playing well. And, you know, at one point I fell into this trap. I think it was early this year where I was like, maybe they got to replace Insight. And the more I think about it, it's like the respawn has never been ass. It's always been the S&D when they lose late in tournaments. So, yeah, I just disagree with it.
Yeah, but do you think the way that Jamie plays his role is like the most efficient way to play with how passive he is and how little damage he puts down every life? Like, do you think that's the
we talked about this a ton.
We
talked about this a ton last week. I think with this team, everybody is super aggressive. I think there are situations where he probably needs to speed up a little bit, but like generally their respawn has been good. Their overload's been elite. The hardpoint has been super solid. The new maps they're looking good on as well, and they're winning those. So like I just don't have a huge problem when the results are like there in the respawn. I have a problem.
Okay, go click overall. Go click overall.
Yeah.
Would you say that Optic? Would you say that Merc, Hook, and Shotzi are slow players or fast players?
Bro, Ben, get to your point. What's the point of this build?
Answer the yes or no question. It's a yes or no question.
They're fast.
They're fast. Yes, go ahead. What's the?
So then, like, when I watch Brandon play, he gets a lot of hill time and he gets a lot of damage. He's up there with some of the best in ARs at damage per 10. Jamie is at the fucking bottom of the list, at the bottom of interactions and engagements. So, like, I don't buy that argument because Optic are a team that play fast, but at least Brandon's putting down fucking shots. Jamie, the way he plays is he's just I think sometimes it's too slow to take space, too slow to take aggressive angles and put damage so that his team can go clean up fucking kills out there on the board.
Where's HP?
Especially in respawn.
I don't
Just do a player comparison of Dashy and Jamie, and you're going to see how slow Jamie plays.
He's going to have better stats, but I feel like the clinging on to Jamie being slow is just like, it's just such a shit argument.
Because he is slow. He is slow.
It's just such a shit argument at this point.
No, he is.
They're winning HPs,
he is so
bro.
unbelievably slow.
They're winning HPs.
No, in every mode. In every mode. Literally go look at the stats. You literally go look at the stats.
Him being slow is not the reason they're losing S&D. It's not the reason they're losing S&D at all. It's just not.
Oh, okay, but this is not a, but
I just told you. These guys will triple wrap flanks, give up their side, let people push through, losing 2v1s.
Like team strategy?
Team strategy, communication, and just overall thesis on how to play the mode is the problem.
Yeah, I was kind of circumventing. Like strategy was kind of encapsulating everything. That's
and we talked about this, I think, 2 months ago in their approach to like defense and S&D, and it still hasn't changed. And that's my until they figure that.
Here. I'm gonna explain why.
Okay, go ahead. Explain.
Because you're assuming that when a team wins that they're playing perfect, but like you can always play better. And just because Toronto is winning overloads and winning hard points doesn't mean that they're playing optimal fucking ball. And yes, they could be taking more advantage of the fact that they have fucking Joe playing at an elite level. Kips they brought in has been good. Toby's playing much better than he was fucking 2 months ago. We should talk about that. Kleenex has been fucking back. But the problem is Insight's giving them fucking bottom 5% fucking engagements. I think if you actually sped it up and can get a couple more kills, bro, they'd be blowing people out in some of these fucking hard points, more so than they are now.
Yeah, the grass isn't always greener. People seem to believe that it is, but I think that they had a good performance at the major. I think they've actually gotten better at respawn since then. The matchup diff with Optic has been tough, but they've lost some closer maps. Obviously, barring this Scar that they lost, but like, yeah, I feel like the Toronto team's still good, bro. I think S&D is the issue.
I don't know anyone saying the opposite.
I think S&D is the issue. I mean, look at their overload. You want Jamie to speed it up? I mean, they're fucking blitzing overloads. They're winning hard points. Like, I just don't see it. When the results are coming in, I don't see the same thing that everybody else sees. I just don't.
The problem is that
focus on getting him to speed up in situations, and maybe that'll help a little bit.
They're heavily dependent.
This is the fucking problem. They are the worst S&D team in the league, and people are talking to me about Jamie speeding it up, bro. This is like
they can have multiple problems. It's not just one. They can have multiple issues.
We argue about this every week, and to me, like when I sit here every week and Toronto comes up, and I see the reaction, match in, match out when they lose, I just always think, are we watching the same stuff? I'm looking at a team that is top 4 in hardpoint, a team that is top 2 in overload, and we're focused on Jamie pushing his left stick more. This is where we're focused. If I was playing, I'd be like, you guys are all drunk. I'd be looking at I'd be like, Jamie, you're fine. Like, let's talk about the specific situation today that went wrong. Maybe you can speed it up here. We got 2 players who are slank, top damage slayer rating. Kleenex is playing better. We're winning our HPs, pushing Optic to game 5, losing both our searches. That's the problem. 14 and 23 in S&D. This is the problem. Focus on this first, and then we can address the other stuff, which isn't even nearly as problematic.
Bro, they can have multiple problems. Their search is dog shit. No one in this call is going to disagree with you or in chat for a number of reasons why their S&D is bad. But their respawn is good, but they're heavily reliant on the fact that their other players are aggressive and getting kills. And we know what happens when you get into big matches. They're not necessarily going to drop fucking 1-9s in a series, and Jamie isn't going to be there to potentially bail them out. And that is our big issue. And why this Toronto team keeps getting 3rd and 4th, because they're not bad, and they weren't bad last year, but they weren't good enough to make a fucking final. And that's my issue with the way that they're playing. Because they're probably going to do the same this year. I'm going to sit there and be like, well, they'd had a fucking more active AR than Jamie. Maybe they would have actually made a fucking final this year with how Joe and Kips are playing.
Yeah, I mean, we're just not going to agree. Yeah. I mean,
fair enough.
Just fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I just think they can win with Insight. I think everybody's drunk. I think everybody's wrong. What do you think? Everybody's wrong.
So, I've been very much like on the same side of you, Ant, for the most part. I think what you're describing for S&D is definitely I kind of agree with both of you in a way. I do agree with Ben that there can be more than one issue at a time, and
Sure.
it's like you always try and solve everything you can solve. Like the S&D one for sure to me recently has been the more glaring issue, just because it seems to be like something that just keeps hurting them time and time and time again. I do feel to a certain extent though that it's hard not to look at numbers in a way when it's consistent in terms of the pace of Jamie. Like, and it's not even, I don't even like necessarily look at the kills themselves. They're just more like the damage numbers, the kill numbers. Like there needs to be a point in time when you need to realize certain, like in the same way we were talking about Miami, like Miami seemed to be more collectively, or at least the ARs in general, like in the same fashion that Miami is kind of, I don't want to say like changed the way they look at things, but the way they've adapted and played recently with the new meta has clearly proven to make them a better team. I do believe Inside's capable of playing at a higher pace. I would love to see him attempt to do certain things at a slightly, even if it means he dies a little more in the series, at least he's doing more damage, which is then helping get a few more kills up front that'll actually matter. The S&D thing is a completely different story. I don't know exactly, like I'd have to be inside the camp there to hear how their thought process goes about how they go about wanting to play search. They've, for the most part, like the last few years when we used to like, this is more speaking from, I'll just use last year as an example, but every time we played these guys in a match, we like I would scout, and like if we're playing protocol, Jamie's in spawn. If we play like most of the maps,
It's so
we kind of
readable.
we knew how they went about things. We knew certain bomb sites they didn't like fighting for before a plant. They would hard play for retakes a lot, which it's not necessarily the worst play of the game if the game allows you to single out players in certain ways, but if you know it's coming, it's really not the hardest thing to play against. Like if a team is willing to give you map control and you just don't give them anything that is going to make you lose numbers with that map control they give you, then it's really hard on, like they have to make some pretty incredible plays to break it off of you. And they like, this is not saying you're not good at it. They've clearly proven they're capable of doing it, but is that the most consistent way and approach that leads to having success in search?
Right.
I would say these days probably not. So it's maybe a shift in how they see things and how they go about things there maybe is something they need to look at. I think at the same time, like the new map should be a way forward into. I'm actually surprised this team. Gridlock's a map to me where you can kind of play for retakes because you can take a lot of map control that make it more difficult. Like if a team hard pushes, was it A's the bomb side on the left on offense, right? The P3 one.
Yeah,
sure,
bro. They don't have more than a 50% win rate on any S&D ever this whole year. Like, come on.
So scroll down there.
Like,
go look at
point,
the retake win percentage on every map. But go ahead, Ray.
To finish my point, if you give up A on Gridlock, it's a bomb site that you actually play to retake on because you can use your tax. There's a lot of positions that are hard to play team wise. They have to play spread to watch pinch and forward. So, like maybe there's a way there they can find the success they want to on how they want to approach the game on that map specifically, but. There needs to be some sort of a shift for them to find consistency there, and I just don't think they've kind of pushed for that just yet.
They have had the same promise in the same promise in the all
2
year.
years. 2 years.
They have 2 years. They have no problem getting bloods, especially on O. But they don't play the mid round efficient. They don't win post plant. And then on defense, to your point, I think people understand that they're very stale. And they're not particularly good at doing the retakes at a high level. And so, like, they're losing situationals on defense. And, like, that is why they are one of the worst teams in the league in S&D.
They're so comfortable giving up bombs and allowing plants. And they're like you just talked about, their retakes are so bad. They'll, like, flip the map without having, like, an anchor player because they're worried about him getting pushed out. And they'll lose that.
Yeah, but who do you think is their anchor player?
They lose it could be anybody. There is no specific one. It's just given the situation mid-round when we adjust. And then the second part about that,
if you watch the map, their main anchor player on S&D is Jamie.
Okay, he'll go mid map and snipe.
Depends on the situation, like Den, where
I'm talking about like
dojo.
Late in round when a team wraps the bomb and like gets it down, they'll like give it up and like triple flank and shit. I hate it. I've always hated it. I've talked about it for a long time. And when I think about them, like in just overall this year and what people have complained about, it's always been the Jamie pace. Why don't we all just sit down in episode soon and just watch Toronto respawn the last like 2 months and just like let's point out all the times this guy's playing super slow. Like, it's actually so frustrating to me because they're winning respawns, and that's what we're focused on. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's my final thing that I have on Toronto. But we're just not going to agree.
I do like the one thing that to me that you pointed out is, and I think is a fair assessment just based on how they go about playing search, is they are really, really comfortable giving up space.
Oh yeah,
with the idea of trying to play to retake it, which again in certain COD games in certain ways it's actually like not necessarily the worst play to play the game. Like it can work. I just think in COD these days, with how the game's played and how numbers matter so much in situations, if you give up space and a team knows you're giving up space and you're trying to retake it, it's pretty hard to retake positions these days.
Yeah,
like, especially now with the new. I feel like the new meta too. Like, dude, you if someone's fucking close range to the sub, you're trying like you're not getting in with a blood, bro. You're gonna get fucking blasted around the corner. Like it's just.
Like, you know who Toronto could learn? You know who Toronto could learn a lot from right now? If they would go watch Thieves. When Thieves give up space, they don't like flip map and like try to retake from the other side. They'll come back from the same space they just gave up, and because they're funneling you into a spot. We watched it in the VOD on their fringe when they would end up going back and retaking junk, and we watched it on the gridlock, the same exact plays when they retake showers. Like if Toronto were to play that brand of S&D, it would work out so much better because you're like allowing it because we embrace it. Like we want to put you in a spot where we know you're at and then fight it. It's a way better, more consistent way to play retakes in S&D than the way that Toronto
what Thieves
plays
also do though? It's great you mentioned Thieves. You know what Thieves' best stat in S&D is basically this year? The retakes are good, but they're the team that denies the most amount of bomb plants on defense.
Why do you think
Toronto
that
is the worst? Because they play the numbers game right now in the way that this game is being played this season. Bombs, and I think some is driven by Scar for what it's worth, but it does kind of, if you look at the other maps, kind of get close. 2/3 of those rounds on O are ending in a plant, and then the retake is about 1/3 percentage of that. So like if you do the math on it, like playing for retakes is not as much of a high percentage play as you think, assuming in the even man situation. I don't know how it breaks out into smaller number situations and like more of a mini game on it. That's the macro number. But Thieves do a good job of not even getting to that spot. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think Toronto plays too passive.
Ideally, if you can have the advantage in the round, then yeah. But I'm just saying when they go to either the non-for bomb site or they get a pick somewhere, like just the way that Toronto approach those scenarios. But they do get. They're third and first blood, bro. Toronto's third and first blood this year. It's not like they're not fucking getting bloods. No, so you're agreeing with everything that I'm saying, and this is the and now let's end it with this. This is the primary problem with this team. Until they address this, let's please stop. Can we please stop all just like after they lose jumping on Insight and saying drop them when they're winning respawns?
No, because you can't contemplate nuance here. A lot of things could be wrong.
Look at the last 5 game 5s from Toronto. We're sitting here talking about Jamie got to speed up the pace. I don't understand this, bro.
You're trying to. The world is not black and bro. The world is not black and white. They have a big S&D problem, but they also have a glaring issue. If you watch their respawn, it's just an inefficient way to play, and both things could be wrong. I don't tell you.
Yeah. Okay. We disagree.
Move on.
Yeah. Let's move on. All right. So we got to talk about Surge and what this team's putting on display. They dropped a triple donut. Can either one of you guys tell me the last time a triple donut happened?
No. Let's ask chat.
Chat. Can you guys tell me the last time there was a triple donut in Call of Duty history in S&D?
Could have been a quad.
At least in a pro match.
Could have definitely been a quad.
It should have been a quad if somebody trolled.
Some fuckers trolled.
Someone said ghost, and someone in this call might have been involved and said that.
Yes, sir.
They want to tell the story.
Yes.
Someone said 1999.
We absolutely cooked these guys, but then my teammate Jeremy Stud tried to do 360s in the middle of the map with a sniper. Should have been a quad donut.
Bro, that would have been the craziest shit ever, bro.
Oh man.
No way. Jay's going for TikToks, and TikTok was not even out
going
yet.
for TikToks. Joe got ripped off the heady. But yeah, I mean, this is the last time that it happened. So I was like, I don't know.
Do you remember the shot calling that game, man?
Yes. We were just bang fences where you were locked.
Dude,
in.
we were just like, I don't think I've read a team as bad as I read these kids in my fucking career playing COD, bro. We just like every round we knew exactly what they're gonna do, and we did everything to counter exactly what they were doing.
If I remember correctly, let me go back. Crazy. I remember first round we were like, Doug plays fences, bang fences.
No, literally, no. We knew we soloed it. We hard played it.
So we were like, Doug's
Where
gonna
is
be
he playing? How
fences.
you playing?
We said no. Yeah,
I think on our offense
we played
we do that.
aggressive. Yeah.
This is our defense here, but yeah, Doug gets blooded. Come on. Did I get 2 here? I think
Wait, we're
we
not
did.
even checking the right corner. We're not checking. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it's
bro.
tough. Let me go to the
I guess
offense here,
I guess they thought they had a timing to plan.
Well,
but that's
most teams didn't play the bomb side. They played passive because they knew like on D you had to play spread.
Look
so
at
like
the
you see the
rush
spot.
routes.
Look at
Yeah,
the
but you still got to clear that. You guys still got to clear the angle.
But you
though,
look
like,
where you
that's
see where
fine.
the orange area is. Like that's where people typically play.
Yeah.
No, I watch a lot of this map, but like you also like never
No,
know.
of
People can
course.
play weird spots and fence all the
Oh,
time. Like you
I'm
can't just
corned up,
get
bro.
inside that clear corner.
Corned up. They're not killing me off this spot. No way. Yeah, I never understood why teams would full give up A on this map. I don't think we did that, did we? Let me see. No, we
Chad
didn't.
said, "Holy shit, that team sucked." That team beat Complexity
This team was
at the NA
godlike.
qualifier. They were the highest seed going to Chance, brother.
Yeah,
So,
we didn't full
yeah.
we didn't full give up
Get a grip.
A. I remember this map when we played at the time, like teams would full give it up and you could take mid. That's what Zuma did really well. But before diving super deep into history, let's go back and stay on track to Vancouver. So Vancouver, and I haven't rewatched this yet. I just timestamped it because I remember just in the studio sitting there losing my mind. I think I texted you, Ray. I think it was during the match, or I
Yeah,
tweeted
you did. No, you texted me. Yeah,
Man,
you texted me. I think
because I was watching this, right? And I picked LA Thieves, right? I got no stake in the game. Other than my picks, I want my picks to win. But when Vancouver starts to win, the underdog story in my mind starts to, I get excited. I'm like, okay, don't fuck this up, And I'm watching them, and I don't, this right here is just like, bro, we have a streak. I think Gwen's on a super wide pitch. We're up 100 points. And we don't break this. And Thieves get this full time. Everybody's just dying. Like, just play from our side. Watch the flank through showers and just kill the guys and get this time here. They just get farmed. And then from here on out to the rest of the map, it's GG's. I don't understand this team and what they're going over in practice because it feels like 8s. When they're rolling, when they're winning rotations, everybody looks good. They have the makings to actually be a good team. And then something happens and it just spirals.
even if you look at if we want to I feel like this would be a good map to watch in just VOD, just spend an hour dissecting this map, because there's a lot of things that Surge was doing early on that was working that realistically shouldn't work very much. If you're just constantly pinching and the other team isn't expecting you to pinch, then that's on them. Like what Gwyn does here to me is, a glaring.
This is so dumb.
In this situation, you have a streak, bro. There's no reason. You don't complicate the game. Just get the kills. They're gonna push you on your side. Just get those kills. Go to hill. You know where the last people are because you got your streak. You can just play from the hill and you're good. Like the game, I don't want to say the game's over, but it's gonna be pretty hard for
Look where it
teams to come
starts,
back.
though. Look at this. We have a streak. Look at, he starts from the hill.
Yeah, there's no point. Yeah,
This is so dumb. And even here, you don't even want this spawn.
Yeah. So more what I'm getting at though is it literally looks like Surge's mindset on how they break hills on basically every hill on this map. They break it by pinching, which is not necessarily a bad mindset to have in certain situations. If you don't have map control anywhere, then you kind of need to pinch, which is still a proper mindset. But you have a streak here, so this situation is completely different. You just have to put you have to think for a second and be like, yo, what does this streak mean for my team?
Yeah, they have
I don't need to
all
pinch.
go in
We're gonna get the Bloods on hill. They can't survive on hill. I just need to go to hill with my team, and we're gonna win the situation. And
but even then, they actually get what they won last year, and it's to Ant's point. It's are we not calling out what's open? Bro, on P1, if you're coming off a spawn, they've gotten kills. Someone is gonna be in showers trying to make a fucking play. We don't even contemplate. We've never discussed or contemplated who in line needs to fucking pick that up.
This rotation's
these are very common situations that you encounter in fucking scrims. Not some crazy 50-50.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't all right. I guess I think about this. You use the streak, you get hill, and then I don't hate if you pinch after that when there's 35 seconds left, right? Even that's not an ideal play, but it's not the worst because then you're flipping, and if you lose, you can win it on the P2 right after, right? But to do it on the rotation with a streak is you're giving them here's the olive branch. If I get these kills and you guys don't expect it, then yeah, I just cheesed my way into a free win. But if we're playing a good team and they watch it, which by the way, the streak's funneling them into bottom bridge to watch the pinch anyway, right? Like
You're trying to survive the streak.
you're
So,
trying
yeah.
to, exactly. So like
Yeah.
you're,
Yeah.
it's just like it's so like it's not thinking at all. That's what it is. It's just like
It doesn't. It's even here, like they lose the fight on the pinch. I'm pretty sure Gwyn didn't have his gun up in this situation. Like we could literally look at back like this game in 20 different ways. Like there are so many things that they did well early on, and certain things that these weren't, like, I guess, waiting for or assuming that Surge weren't going to do certain things. They did it, and then they kept doing the same thing over and over and over as the map went on. And I mean, there's like I hate talking about one moments, but the streak play to me is probably the biggest thing, because that literally can help you close out a game. And you use your biggest asset to on a hill that should, I don't want to say it's a guarantee to break P1, but more often than not, you should be able to break P1 or streak, and they don't.
Dude, we're pinching this too on rotation. It's just funny. Like this is just all like even this rotation right here is awful. Like, and I know it sounds like I'm hating,
teams,
but I'm starting this from a perspective of like the fact that the guns are this good on Vancouver and they're like a bottom 3 team in our league is kind of crazy to me. Like they actually were frying thieves to start this map. Like everybody was popping off. Lunars was having a good performance. They were blending them, and then it's just mistake after mistake.
The one thing I will say though is like the new maps, like especially Sake and Gridlock, like you can very much flip the game on its head pretty quickly. Like it doesn't take much. Like the fights during the rotation can easily win you 60 seconds if you win them. So like you could go a hill by just straining out kills, doing okay, and then you just win 2 or 3 fights on a row, and then you're right back at it, getting more time by just straining kills out. So coming back in the same way we saw Miami to FaZe, like FaZe was up like 100 points after the first 3 hills on Sake, and
they just flipped
like
it.
You can turn these maps on their head pretty
it's definitely
fast.
part of it for sure.
Yeah.
But this is just a huge. I mean, they're at 220 on P1.
Yeah, trust me, I get it. The 220 with a streak, that is.
On
It's just
P1. Yeah.
pocket.
But I think the frustrating thing is like it's not like I mean Thieves had Abe I think was like double negative at one point this map, and he made like a big comeback. Like I just think there were a lot of in the middle of the second rotation. There were a lot. We didn't even show some clips of just.
Ben, they lost 5 consecutive rotations. 5. That's 5 in a row, bro. They lost 5. And the funniest thing to me about this,
please.
The funniest thing to me about this chat, which is so funny, dude, and I'm so sorry to Surge and Surge fans, but like, dude, they tried so hard to close it out. Like they tried to play in their head like the right way. Like we're gonna rotate at 20 to every single hill and got broken on every hill. So maybe they just shouldn't play. Maybe they just shouldn't play good COD.
Pause. Like back like 10 seconds before this was when the 3 of them all went up. Like, are we look how they played this? You're rotating. You've got layers. Like we are playing corners and spots where we have no information on where they're coming from.
Well,
we're playing tweaker angles, trying to all watch. Like there's no we not talk through. If we get into this situation with 10 seconds left, they're coming off old. There's maybe 3 or 4 guys alive where we want to like try and funnel them to.
Well,
like,
what they're worried about is the guy that could potentially jump up.
Middle.
One is trolling. TJ's trolling here, and this guy doesn't. This guy has top. He has the push through ice cream here, and then he's got the back. So it's like nobody's helping each other. We're just all kind of playing like 1v spots.
It's like if you're Gwyn, like you love to play a statue spot, but like, do we discuss playing the front of this hill where you shimmy the back door and we have middle, and like, yeah, we're giving up all the back and giving up hella space. We're also never putting ourselves in a position to get scammed, and then we have to flood to us. We would trophy in hell. But go ahead.
So if I was coaching a team, I would like after a map, and I would reflect on this and be like, we played this situation not to lose. We didn't play this to win.
Yeah, like, I mean, what Ray just said is why I think you're trolling. This is you got no information. You should have chowed. You should have pushed through here, chowed this, or you should have chowed back. You should just pick something and chowed it. Otherwise, you were one player. Either this guy in Hill, right, Tej, is just sitting out here. Either this guy gets bullied in a 3v1 if they fly up, or the guy in the back gets bullied in a 2-3v1. Like nobody has numbers in this situation.
We're getting outnumbered everywhere they go.
Everywhere they go
here.
Like something.
If
a guy spawns out, something's bound to be open. Right? Okay, you're last off. All right, let's go back. So, Tej, you're last off spawn, right? Right here. You're not last because 3 dies. But either way,
can you back up and see? Like again, we don't have comms, and this is where the communication of things goes. But like, so back it up just one more click. Was Neem involved in the play at all here?
Was who?
Neem. They know where he is.
So we know. Like, pause it. So off spawn here, they pause it whenever they get all the kills. Like whenever 3 dies, pause it. So this, if I'm coaching and I'm going to revive with a team, this is the instance I would bring up. So we know where 6 and 5 is. So we know Scrap and Paco are because they got kills on old. We calm them. The only player we don't have info for is 8. So effectively off the spawn here, you need to understand as a pro player, you need to understand the timings at which Paco and Scrap can get involved into play. You know those players are going to rotate back through what cemetery, whatever people call it. Like they're rotate through where 8 is.
Coming through here.
So off spawn, there's a lot more space that Surge can take to cut off these choke points that they're not taking.
Yes.
And this is the problem in the situation. Like the only player that we should get surprised by is number 8. Like the timing that 6 gets on the door here I'm not saying could like easily cut off is obviously a big word, but like we
can get
knew
in a fight
the
there.
distance that we knew the distance we can get at, and we can get in a fight that is going to win us the game. Like if we kill 6, let's say we kill 6 and 8, I'm not saying the game's over, but it's way more winnable after that, because those kills will win us the rotation. Us being as passive we are now, we had a chance to take advantage of like an outnumbered situation because there's still a guy playing from old. Now we're just playing so passive that we're just getting outnumbered everywhere, and that to me is the problem situation. Is that
also like just think about it like this: you're just playing not to lose here. Like this, bro. You've been playing COD forever. You have a corner here. You're just letting them all. You think they're just standing still idle, like, and they're just gonna run past you? Like they're gonna bang your teammates out.
The one thing he says is right though is they do streak. I don't know what. Like, can you back up and see at which point they streak? Like I don't know when we hear to comp for it.
They streak right here.
No, it's when 7 stops moving. Go back. Yeah. Like go back. Back and more. He streaks now. Pause it. So now, I mean, like 7 streaks
now.
No, we had. I mean, we could have made a play way before he started streaking. That's more so what I would say. Like the reaction from this point is fair because he's streaking, right? Like that makes sense. But the situation to start with, like to me again, just the passiveness of how you play these instances can hurt you more than help you.
Yeah,
just get all the kills.
But realistically, Tej, if I'm being honest, bro, like
I mean, it should never got
to that point. It shouldn't even have got to this point. Yeah, like it is what it is. Yes, I want you to run an ice cream, or I want you to run it out the back and help Gwen. Just get numbers somewhere, one or the other. You have space to take there, Tej. You're a good player. You're having a good map, and they're sprinting.
He's saying it shouldn't. It realistically speaking, it shouldn't have been you taking that space. Yeah, we're just talking to Tej in the chat, by the way, for the listeners. But like the first player in line needs to be more aggro on getting info where the pushes come from, so we can react behind.
The guy sitting in hill is brain dead. Gwen in the back. I mean, I don't hate it too much because we do know they're going to be back there. I mean, you guys you and whoever was it 4, Nero, whoever's in hill just did nothing. Like. I would just like you guys to do
but like you don't think there are better like this. I have a big pet peeve when people play spots like Gwen's playing, where it's like you're just gambling on you getting 50-50.
I mean, he did rotate mad early then, yeah.
I know, but there are like if your goal in a situation, like if we talked as a team, like we want to stay alive, play this fight, and win. It's like the chance of him finding info and staying alive in this is like with no info has got to be really tricky, right? Because he's nothing. He's trying to. Nero doesn't have his fucking. Doesn't have his slide to back door.
Also,
like we are gambling a situation where we don't necessarily need to gamble. And I don't want to blame TG there.
No, it's the whole team, bro. It's the concept of how they play this. They're scared.
Like to me, 2 and 4 should be working together to play the back.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like and then one should. I mean, in my opinion, I think one goes top. And just to try and hold the push through, especially after your streak, you're probably way more benefit. Like obviously it's hindsight because you don't know he's got a streak yet. But if I'm instructing a team again, I just think if you're gonna if you're gonna go to the back at all, you need to do it as a team because you're just gonna get outnumbered. Mm-hmm. Like there needs to be a team effort on holding the back. So at that point, if we're only sending one in the back, they don't need to send anyone in the back at all, and just play tight from the hill.
And then also, if they do flank, if you guys push the back and get kills, like say that you kill 8 and 5 and like trade out, and one guy's remaining back here, right? Like then if they go through ice cream here, then ideally you guys spawn back here. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. I feel like. They just played it terrible, but it's not even just this hill.
I mean, I honestly think Nero just had to go up the stairs, top ladder, and watch Gwen cross. And to your point, you can play a double back. If Gwen dies, and Nero's got that option to get back in hill. But like, you can set Gwen up to fucking piece 2 guys. They pinch this guy middle.
I don't like even talking about
like,
what specific arrows should do. I'm just talking because like in the moment it's kind of fucking hectic. I know what it's like playing, but I just think you guys played super scared here.
I don't know if you remember this from back in the day. But I'm pretty sure these concepts were things that I would push to you guys as well when we competed. But what is the most important thing to do in any kind of instance when you play COD?
That's super general, but
Yeah,
wait,
just try and guess.
the most
I mean,
important thing in any instance in COD, what you want to try to do?
like what are you trying to accomplish? Like what is the I'm trying to find a way to get it out of you without saying it, but more so.
Oh, because it's
I'll
something
just
you probably
say,
said back in the day. Let me think.
Yeah,
What was
yeah.
Ray's mantras back in the day? I mean, you want to
If you
get
do
information for sure. Like that.
Yeah,
That
info,
was
but-
always the priority for.
at the core, it doesn't matter if you're doing something right
Yeah,
or wrong. Like as long as you're doing it as a team.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Facts.
As long as you're putting your foot forward to be with your teammates and help your teammates accomplish certain things. Even if we do something that isn't the most efficient or the most productive thing to do in an instance, let's say there was like, I'm just going to be super general here. Like say, let's say the back or the front of the hill is what you want. Do you want to hold the back, but we go play the front of the hill? As long as we play the front as a team, it has already a better chance to work.
It can
splitting
work.
up and
If
doing
we're stacked
something.
in hill, we're stacked in the back. Like, yeah, that's like rule 101. It's like,
And I think this is to me in this situation, this is the issue, is that there's no, like, you look at the arrows separate, everyone's playing their own little island,
dude.
and on top of that, we're not getting info on how we play our line, so there's no way for us to react until it's too late.
Yo,
So then it just
Tej,
becomes about the players winning their 50-50s.
Tej, that happened 5 rotations in a row. Can you just answer this? Did you guys watch the VOD? And when after the VOD watch, what the fuck did you guys say to each other? Please tell me. Because, like, you guys are good, man.
There's
Like, you guys
so
are
many winnable
you guys are
opportunities.
good players, bro. Like, I don't know, man. One of you guys has to get frustrated enough where you guys sit down and you go, like, we're just gonna start closing these games out. Like, we got to be better down the stretch. I don't know. I'm excited that you know, Vancouver, even though being bottom 4, can still actually be in games like that. I just want to see if they can.
They're literally like, I would almost consider them a dark horse right now. Like, I'm not, like,
They
from a
can cause an
consistency
upset.
standpoint, maybe not quite there, but yeah, they definitely, like, if these guys, they can play. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of like showing up and doing it and finding, like, they just need to, like, I don't know, it's so easy to say from an outside perspective. Like, I have no idea how they're doing things internally or how they're going about progressing as a team, but they clearly have the ability to keep up with teams in slaying. Like, we've seen it from all the players on our team.
Yeah, this map
give you an
was an
obvious one, Ray.
abomination, though. Like, Tej, this is like no composure. You guys went from ripping them off of every heady, winning every gunfight, to literally dust. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
Ray, just to follow it up, the reason I think Vancouver's got a chance now is they finally figured out how to win overloads. Like, they were
Yeah.
sitting at like a 4 spot after 2 stages, and they've actually, I think, won like 3 this stage. Like, they've almost doubled their wins. Like, they're staying in it during the swing modes and giving themselves a chance because they're not a bad search team, and their hardpoint's getting better. And so once you do that, it all starts to line up.
Shout out Coach Center in the chat.
what up, Troy? Yeah, I have had enough. I'm sorry. This match pissed me off so bad, Troy. I don't know. I was just kind of rooting for them in the match because I was rooting for the underdog story, and, you know, I was happy for these guys, and they don't fucking deserve to win this. Not after that. This is exactly what they deserve.
Talk about it. To be fair, like, what the fuck is going from one guy 3 donuts and surge to 8 winning a team in overload?
I know,
was
this
crazy. That was
team
also
makes
crazy.
no
That
sense.
was so
They're
confusing,
literally
yeah.
playing 8s, dude. When they have nothing to lose, like when they go into the series, and it's like, oh, we're playing LA Thieves. They're supposed to lose. They're frying, and then they have something to lose. They're about to win. They choke. You know, they lose this S&D, and then it's 0-2. We have nothing to lose. We're frying again. So literally, you guys need like a performance and mental coach, Tej, or you need to rise to the occasion and get mind gym on the desk of all 3 of your teammates before your next match. When you guys have something to lose, good things do not happen, bro.
I don't know if Vancouver spending that money to fucking get a performance coach. They were asking the Bush to have a 2K buyout to 1K, brother. I don't know.
They need mind
that
gym
kinda
on
funds on them.
all their desks, bro. But all right, let's move past Surge. That was way too much time to talk about TJ. Let's talk about
We love Tej,
G2.
by the way. Shout out to
We
you.
do love Tej, man. Trevor Lawrence is frying in the Madden franchise. All right, let's talk about G2 and Gentlemates. I bundled them together because I feel like they're in the same spot. They're just kind of like the middle of the pack, 5th, 6th team, and they both have a lot to work on. Let me mute this. Sorry, chat. G2 in their last match looked sensational. I thought the game plan, which we touched on earlier, if you missed it, go back to when we were talking about Miami. But G2's game plan was awesome. I kudos to the coaching staff and the players. And even in the interview, I think it was Mamba, he said, yeah, I mean, we game planned all week for this. No new maps in the series, but I think it does still show that G2 are working and can get to a spot where they can make a run to a Sunday. Let's start with you, Ben. What were your thoughts on G2's bounce back here, and where are you at with G2 now after 3-0 over Miami?
I thought we talked about it earlier. I thought it was a nice win for G2, especially off of the momentum Miami had the day before. I think it's just a question for G2 is like, as they play 2 more games, 2 more series this weekend, like, can they get on the right foot? Or are they going to go 1-1? Or are they going to go 0-2? And we're like, well, that was just an aberration. It was one day where they put it together, you know? Because if they go 2-2 and they're 3-2 and they can back into a top 6 seed in a group, then you never know what the draw they get. But if they split 1-1, then it's just like, oh, this seems such a fucking hard read because, you know, you're worried about the fact that, you know, they haven't won yet on the 2 new hardpoint maps that they played. You know, the search is solid, but, you know, again, didn't win.
It's okay.
The raid has kind of regressed heavily since stage 1. Like everybody just kind of in them on raid. That's kind of a tough scene, and they're only really winning their bread and butter scars, which has been a key map for them. And their overload's fine, but you know, like the other 2 modes, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what to think about G2, bro.
It's a hard one. I think that
hard raid.
You know, they need to put more on tape. I think because as of recent, before this match, it was really bad. But yeah, I mean, if they can keep that level of play, I mean, first of all, Mamba in the last couple of matches, even when they were losing, has been playing better. He's gotten better. I think the numbers reflect that as well. We can pull that up. Yeah, I mean, I thought Estrio had a good series. The game plan was great, and I just still think they're in kind of the same spot. Ray, what do you think about G2?
Can you pull up the Mamba roar? I'll call it a roar after he killed Super in a 1v1 because my man got hyped. he got hyped.
So
that was sick.
Stats,
I love that
stage,
shit.
By the way, I think he's like playing a little bit better, closer to a 1. Kremp's numbers are down a bit, but yeah, I mean, overall they were like 10th in team KD, which we talked about lack of firepower. I think it might be
gunpower.
Yeah, let's start using gunpower. I thought that they did have that for a bit. I think it's still compared to the top teams, maybe a little bit lack of gunpower, but I think with preparation and like the approach that they just had, they can compensate for some of that.
So to the preparation point, just having, again, another inside thing to haven't been in the league. Your weeks with 1 match are very, very easy on the preparation side because you literally are just preparing for 1 game. So your scrims for that week, your mentality is about how you go about VOD. Like you kind of know the maps you're going to play already. So everything you're doing that week is leading up into doing what's conducive to winning that 1 match. It's a lot harder when you have 2 matches because you aren't specifically, unless you're playing different maps in both series, you aren't specifically playing to 1 kind of mindset.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, props to G2 on making the best of that. Obviously, it's not a given. You still have to do it. All right, this is the one.
Oh, my God.
Oh, look at him.
He was high.
Oh, crazy.
He was high.
Yo.
First of all, awesome play.
If anybody was tired next to him, them boys were wide awake after that one.
He double roared.
Holy shit.
Look at him. He was turned, bro. He couldn't contain himself. Look, to brush the hair out the face. He's like, yeah, fucking shitter. Get away from me.
I love that shit, bro. So much.
So good.
But yeah, I don't know. I like in the same way we talk about. I mean, I don't want to put these guys on the same level as Vancouver because they've clearly had more success in Vancouver this year. But I just it's the consistency aspect of how they go about certain things is really, to me, the biggest thing that holds these guys back. It's I don't want to talk about the players. I'll just speak for the team itself. Like there needs to be a certain level of play. I think maybe their map pool in general is probably what I'm going to talk about here.
Their map pool
like there needs to be a way forward into doing things that are conducive to winning for how they want to go about playing a game that gives them a better chance across all games, all maps and modes. We've seen them find success. Yeah, we've seen them find a lot of success on some maps, like through the whole year, right? Like their Colossus has been solid. I mean, Blackheart's not on the map anymore, but Gar's been okay. But like if you look at the stats, yeah, for example, like the new maps aren't very good. I think if you look at Search too, I'm pretty sure Search is kind of the same.
Yeah, I mean they got the bread and butter Scar. Raid's gotten away from them. Ben just brought that up, and yeah, EXO's gone, and Colossus
And it's
gone.
it's just
so.
easy to it's just easy to veto against when
It's
you're
so
playing
easy.
a team like this. Like that's the problem to me. It's like, and this is where we get to the point in the year where like obviously they're a good team, but if you're the map pool at this point of the year becomes way more subject because you don't have the separation you had to other teams on the good maps or even your second best maps because most teams have figured out how to play those maps by now. So now it's a matter of like finding, like I'm kind of picturing the lay of the hole here. Imagine like there's 5 hardpoint maps and your best hardpoint map, let's say, is your 100% map. Like I've figured out how to play everything the best on this map, and I win this map a lot, and I'm ahead of other teams on this map. So teams veto that map off you. So if your second, third, and fourth map, let's say you have an auto veto, your fifth map, if your 2, 3, and 4 maps are all around like 50 to 70% on how you need to play the map to be able to efficient to win more often than not, and the other teams are higher than that, then you just kind of don't really have a good way forward to winning these games consistently.
You trapped yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. You trap yourself in a place where even your picks are now not that great. Going into a match.
You know what happens, right? Is you look at this team's map pool and you're like, let's just pick Team A against these guys. Don't give a fuck what search you play against them. Yeah, they're probably going to go hardpoint map, but that might not be till map 4 and we'll already be fucking 3-0 in them.
Facts,
Like,
man. That's huge. And
Yeah,
then
not all situations, but that's an example of what the situation you get back into.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's not a bad way to look at it. Again, I'm more looking at it from like holistically from a series standpoint. Like right now, if you look at like hardpoint and search, which are the most you play in the series, they seem to not have a widespread of picks that will allow them to have a good chance to win a map. They constantly resort to the picks that they've been comfortable in, and if the other team isn't willing to play those against them, or they like Miami was willing to play Colossus against them, but I'd say most teams probably won't even give them that, then or whatever next map is, then you just have a hard time, especially in a matchup standpoint. Like let's say their best map is Colossus, and that's another team's not strong map, they're going to veto it. And if their second best map is Scar, and that's the other team's best map, then they're screwed picking Scar anyways because they don't have a third and fourth map in their pool. So that's where the difficulty is for a team like this right now, and I think that's where they should be putting their efforts in, is to trying to figure out their best way forward into improving on those maps, as any team would, but probably more so a focus for them to get to a place where they can compete with more teams.
Disagree?
No, I 100% agree. I think the map set's the biggest issue with G2 because in the last series you saw, they had all the old maps, and like Miami just kind of squared with them on some of the maps that Mini like, and Mini look good again all of a sudden. So I think for them, they have to dive super deep into those new maps and build like at least 2 that you're more comfortable with going into these series. Like they gotta get Saki or Gridlock. One of those has to be straight up added, and then they need to get their Scar back on track. Which, when's the last time they played Scar Hardpoint? The last time they played it, yeah, they cooked C9, but before that they hadn't played it in a while. So yeah, they need to get Scar back, and they need to figure out either Grid or Saki, which is confusing because I feel like they should be good at Saki. Like
they should be good at Saki, and they have an interesting match set this weekend. They have Boston, and Boston are obviously not playing that well. And when they play Thieves on Sunday, Thieves are basically auto locked and they're in the first or second seed. So realistically, with Thieves, yeah, well, I know they've really on one map. I think 3 times they played them this year, but it's like Thieves may go in that series being like, doesn't really matter much. What do we want to get out of this? Let's try to play some maps that we want some prac on. So to your point, like they may be able to get some good new map practice in both these series and build like some bread and butter out of that,
100%. Yeah. But yeah, all right.
Is that second match on Sunday? And these are the last matches of the stage,
which is even more funnier because then they'll like basically know what they're locked into at that point. I don't think we've already played 5. They've played 5 already.
This is where these 5 match days get weird and where everyone's in. Like, I'm not saying teams will do this, but it has crossed teams' minds in the past, and we have seen bullshit where certain teams aren't incentivized to win some of these later matches.
Yeah, we have.
Like, if you know winning, like let's say Thieves beating G2 means they get into a bracket with Toronto and Optic, for example, or whatever. I mean, that's not the case, but whatever that may be, or the same with G2 gets in if they win their match and that puts them in a better seed, but it gives them a worse pool, then them win that match is like, it's not a good thing for them. Like that's all
right. So let me ask you this then, Ray.
Fucking hate that shit.
So Ray, let me ask you this then, because we've been in situations like this before, and we could never like you can never go into the match being like, fuck, if we lose, we're in a better spot, and like actually just like go ahead and lose that. Like I just could never get myself, like, it's too much pride to do that.
No, of course not. No,
So
again, I'm not saying I've personally never done that. I know there's been instances. I think it was wasn't it the Vanguard year where I'm pretty sure Sam, it was like LAT, another team, and it was like a tiebreaker to know which team got to see the event, and they like the tiebreaker it out. Whoever won that played like a way better team than the team that lost that.
And they're both trying to lose it.
And
this new age
like,
ain't got no spine, man. I'm telling you, I had a situation like that where it was either I play complexity or I lose and I get TK, and I was like, nah, bro. No way. Like, I can't.
No, of course.
This got talked about in a podcast. I got in an issue with our Black Ops 4 team because they wanted to do that at champs. And I said, what in the bullshit fucking mentality is that?
Yeah,
like, you want to go into this last
bro.
match and lose. And they didn't like that. But it's like,
juju.
I was saying about the juju. It's just like what every match is practice to get better in the middle of a tournament. You just want to throw away these reps just to get an easier side of the bracket. Like, I don't.
What it is though, it's not like
it seems odd mentality to me.
It's not going in throwing. It's probably just like trying shit. I think is more.
Yeah, I think it's like, exactly. You're gonna test your map pool to the craziest extent. You're still gonna try and win those maps.
I'll tell you, the conversation I had was not even that far. It was purely about just doing something I thought was stupid, and I got in trouble with my team or whatever.
All right, let's move on though real quick.
Odd situation.
Let's talk about Gentlemates. Similar to G2, which is kind of why I bundled them together. They're 3-0 the split. I mean, they've been winning their matches. It hasn't been pretty. Required a reverse sweep. Be sort by them. But yeah, what do you guys think about the Gentlemates? Let's start with you, Ben. They're a bit of a hard one right now to talk about. I feel like they're just a gatekeeping like the top 8.
So it's super weird because what's good for Gentlemates is let's go good and bad. Good is they look really good on the new hardpoint you've seen them play in a Colo. Is still their hardpoint map pool is still really good, which is nice. Our concern with them all season has been the search and the overload, and their overload's been really good this stage. I think they've only lost one overload.
They've had an easy schedule.
The S&D has been its work, continue to be kind of a mixed bag for this team. Like, they just kind of had the stage. They've had no problem getting bloods, and then they just throw so many search rounds this stage. I mean, I remember that. Did they play a fringe where they got an obscene amount of first bloods, like 9 first bloods? They won like a couple of them. Like they've had a couple of maps to split where they've just got what they wanted as far as opening duels, and they just absolutely scammed their way out of the fucking map.
I don't remember.
It's the raid. It says 0-6. It's the raid where they
first
the raid. Go back to that list. It tells you here. Actually, I can pull it up over here. Last.
Oh, the 7-2, the gridlock. Oh, they won that though.
No, it's the fringe where they went 8-1 opening duel win percentage, and then they only won 3 rounds. So it's like, I think Gentlemates are in a better spot than they were last split. Like, I feel much better about them going to this event, and like having
crazy.
A chance. Like I know that was a crazy map, but last event I was like, they won that big losing streak. Like, I don't know. Now I'm like, okay, they're going to be a hard out for anybody. But as always, this Gentlemates team, I think they're going to live and die by maps 2, 3, and 5. And like, they have it in them. Are they going to execute in those modes and make it deeper on Sunday? I don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, I fear that this Gentlemates team, brand of S&D's pretty basic, and they're either, if Sib's getting picks with a sniper, they're going to win. If he's not, they're going to lose. Like, that's just where I'm at with them, point blank. The more that I've watched them. And in the game 5 on the gridlock, he was getting picks. Now, some of those are at the expense of his teammates. He was collaterering them and stuff, but yeah, I mean, that's the only time we've ever seen them be good at S&D was that stage 1 where he was doing that. And their S&D since then has been ass, with a couple of bright spots like the game 5 that they just had. But I'm with you. I think the hardpoint map pool is excellent. I think it's better than good. If you look down, see they're 10-4, Dan 11-3 Colossus, the bread and butters, the gridlock they tried to play, they lost, but the Saki's been great, 3-1 on it. So yeah, they have themselves a good little bag of maps. So they'll be in these series, but can they close it out versus the top teams is the question. And I don't know if they can until their search gets up to par, because these other team search is really good. Thieves are good as hell at search. Miami's good at search. FaZe is great. Optic's great at search. Like, yeah, I mean, the only other team kind of in this same area is Toronto, and both these teams are really similar in that regard. And I would say Toronto's a better overload team. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll say one thing. Dill Envoy has not played amazing this season, but has actually played decently well in this stage. I got to be honest about Sib. Sib had a really good Major 1, and he's been so mid both online and LAN since then. And it's just this similar form that he had last year. I know 2 years ago, the year before that, he was playing an all-star level, but like at some point we got to start having conversations. Oh, Dante doesn't try against shitters. Well, we got to have a conversation that Dante's too inconsistent for this team to compete consistently. They let it peak early, but like he is their X Factor. Dill is their X Factor player, and Dante is most certainly.
Well, we should be honest here and just say and put it like this though. He's still putting down a fuck ton of damage in hardpoint, and they're winning their HPs. He's not getting a ton of kills, but to that point, like, because we spent a lot of time talking about Paris in the studio. Like, I feel like that's the reason Dan's kind of feasting. I think he has the highest KD ever in a qualifier right now, and I think him and Sib do have a good dynamic in hardpoint. He's putting down a ton of damage. They're winning rotations. They're playing good ball, and Ghosty's finishing a ton of those kills. That's just how it's working. But my gripe with Dante is just his performance in search is wildly inconsistent. And it's not that it's like wildly inconsistent on an individual basis. It's like even their strats will be based around it, and it'll throw the whole game off for them too. So that's
let me segue into my part here. What you described is kind of how I see the problems of this team right now. Like they seem to have a good kind of team centric mentality on how they approach hardpoint. Like they seem to be conducive to doing things in a way that they're working together. They're achieving things on a map where they create numbers, and they prioritize the things that are important in the right ways, which again is if you're getting kills and you do that, then you will win hardpoint games. I feel like even from the start, even Major 1, when we saw them make the finals, like we've talked about this before, but a lot of it was on the back end of like Travis or individual plays towards the end of rounds to clutch rounds that you mostly will not win consistently. They've just more so kind of getting back to the issues you're talking about for search right now, to me, have been an issue since the start of the year. They were constantly just smoking teams at hardpoint Major 1. And they were winning a lot of series 3 wins because they weren't winning their searches. So it's almost like if I'm their coaching staff, I'm like trying to approach the mentalities that we have in hardpoint and trying to introduce them to S&D. It's not to say that the way they go about playing search right now is necessarily the worst way, but I don't think it's a conducive way to play every single round. It just seems like they're separated on most plays. And again, it's like you guys talked about, they're getting a lot of, like I think Ben brought it up, they're getting bloods, which obviously bloods are important, but if you get bloods and you don't use your numbers afterwards, then bloods aren't necessarily doing anything for you. Like I could still get a blood and I could still be separated on a map in let's say there's 3 lanes, I'm playing at 1-1-2. I could still get outnumbered on one of the lanes that I'm playing 1 on, and then I lose the advantage that I got with my blood. Mm-hmm. I think it's finding a way to push onto the players that if I was a coach, and the term I would use here is just holding hands, which is extremely old and simple, but if they could find a way to simplify some of their approaches in S&D, and it's not to say they play the same way every round, but at least mix it up in their tool bag a little bit to where they can find ways to have rounds where they're consistently giving themselves the best chance to win, I feel like this team can turn around extremely fast. I still think they're a great respawn team. Like
I do too.
They've made improvements in Overload as well. Like they were not great at the start of the year, and they've been much better at recently. I think it's just a matter of they're a team right now that have 2 really good modes, and the third mode is holding them back. And you're at a point in the year now where again, teams have caught up in mostly everything. You've had a chance to separate yourself with some of the new maps because obviously you have to like start from scratch on those, but generally speaking, like the difference between the good teams isn't as large as it was early on the season of Respawn. Where the difference lies the most right now is S&D. And I think this is again where if I'm with this team, I'm getting fucking third set 7 PMs every day just so we can get as many reps as possible and then get practice in a way where we're changing our approach and some of these things. So at least test out to see if it makes more sense for how we approach the game. And because this is where I struggle with too, is like they're so good at hardpoint and they're so good at pushing pace as a team at hardpoint. How would you not want to approach S&D in a similar way? Why are we treating S&D in such a different, like why are we approaching S&D in such a different way?
That's not what Ray's saying is like on defense, you're ideally kind of forced to play together, otherwise you're just getting fucking scammed. And they're actually not a terrible defensive team this season, S&D. But to your point, Ray, on offense, Where yes, you can make individual plays, but we got to play our situationals as a team. They've been fucking horrific this year. They've been a bottom 3 team in most of the offensive metrics, especially post plant. Like, so it's just your point. Like, if they can actually apply the same hardpoint fundamentals, like, yeah, they won an event this year already because they iced up a bit in S&D. It's like outside of that, it's how this team may just get fucking sixth all year, because as good as the respawn is, the search is not as deep as some of these other.
Well, the thing about Gentlemates is that, like, if they have a weekend where they're winning their S&Ds, they're gonna make a super deep run into the tournament. Yeah. Like, that's just what it is. And like, they're not like super far away. It's kind of readable. Like, if Sib's gonna have the sniper out a lot, and if he's not getting picks, you're gonna beat them in search. Like, they're gonna be split. He's gonna be by himself, at least defensively, and then it's like you're gonna win. I mean, their SCAR's been completely downloaded. Like, it's not, they just don't have a lot of depth. Like, we can talk about different ways that they can approach it. You know, we talked about the way Thieves play, love it. Talked about the way Optic play, we love it. Miami, but like with them, there's just not enough depth in S&D. Like,
but even this is why I think.
Can I really bring up an example?
Go ahead,
okay. Well, like what you're talking about, Thieves, like that one round that stands out is the one on Gridlock where you talked about where
the Optic one.
They gave up their side of the space, and then they were like, okay, Optic's probably going to plant now. So they immediately didn't wait, they didn't pinch, they just took their numbers front and just tried to raw number fights after they got damage on. I think it was Kyler or Shotzi was speaking front, and they backed him down and they chowed through. Like where is, like, dude, is that not? Am I tweaking when I say that's kind of not like exactly the way, but that's kind of the mentality that Paris takes in Hardpoint.
Yeah.
Why not trying to accomplish the same things in S&D?
And so here, look,
like, the only difference
I got you, Ray.
Just makes no sense to me.
Let me reinforce Ray's point and kind of illustrate what we're talking about here. This is where Gentlemates find pay dirt in S&D. Think about their stage 1. Think about Major 1, the way they played Search. This is how they like to play. You got Sib sniping, you got Envoy in a corner. When they win defensive rounds and when they're winning S&Ds, this type of shit's working for them. Is this a sustainable way to play S&D? In my opinion, no, I don't, because like if they 4-hit something, you're at a disadvantage. Their retakes are not that great. So like, to me, this when they have success, this is what they do. And like, even on this, I think they win this round, but like, this guy's pushed up. If this guy gets banged out, the numbers are even. You know what I mean? So wait, do they win this round? Yeah, they do. Okay, but like, to me, that's when they win S&D. It's off of that, like somebody sneaking up, getting to a spot, Envoy or Neptune, or Sib getting a snipe, and it's just way too individualistic. It's not sustainable.
Like, you need those kind of rounds. Like, it's not. It didn't. Sure. Again, I want to bring back to the point. It's like those aren't bad rounds to mix in, but they can't. Like, to me, that's playing that as your A game is just not necessarily the best way to go about things. Again,
I agree.
I think they've been killed. They've been killed this year. There's 2 maps that have really killed them, I think, in S&D. We haven't seen them play Plaza yet. But it's Scar and Raid on O. It's just like, and this is different what you guys are talking about, but on O, like, they're just struggling to open those rounds and then use team play. And like, Scar is so hard anyway, but like, Raid should have room. I also want to see this fucking team play Plaza, because a team of fucking Nep, you're telling me a team with Nep and Envoy, and especially Dante once he has to put an AR in his hand, like, you're telling me we can't win the bang out rounds, like the weird fucking dice roll rounds?
They might get rolled on that map, Ben. I'm not gonna lie.
Because they're fucked. Because like, what are you gonna play? Like,
well, they have to get good at this one.
At this point late in the year is like,
what has been their veto recently?
Let's pull it up.
I haven't paid attention on that to that depth of it.
Where's the vetoes on this sheet? Is it on this sheet on the team scouting? I might have to.
It is. You just gotta scroll out. You just gotta go to head to head. I'm looking at it right now.
It's on here. So Paris has been 22 dens, 71% of the time.
That's for I'll go just for the major 3.
This for the season. Qualifier. I could sort it by it.
So they have
3 raids.
They've been raid and Scar are the bans. So they've had Plaza been in it. They have not picked Plaza, just been left over. They picked Scar twice and they picked
the last 60 days. They've banned 8 dens, 4 raids, 2 Scars.
But it's so, bro, they were such a good early raid team. I mean, they beat Opticon in the grand finals, and it's like also gone away from them. And like Scar, I kind of get as a ban that's should theoretically still not be in the
Remember last episode, Ben, when we looked at the raid, the round differential they've been losing on that map? It was like they were getting blown the fuck out the last couple times they played it.
They can't win it. Yeah, listen, I don't want to pin it on one person, but like,
Dante's
I just have
No, it's not.
Dante's
It's not on Dante. It's their.
It's not
the
on
same.
Dante,
It's the
but
same thing with Toronto, bro. And
Yes,
we
I was gonna say,
we got to
it's a
keep it
comparison.
honest. It's the same argument with Toronto, except in this one, Sib is pushing pace, and he is still getting damage. He's just gotta. They gotta not rely on that in search and destroy, and they gotta figure out a way to like have some more either blind counter rounds or just play with each other a little bit more, like they play hardpoint. Like, well, apply those same concepts.
I just want to add. You said don't rely on that. I just want to add as much.
As much,
Because it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to like mix those rounds in. Those are good mix-ups, bro. Like you have talent on your team. You should use it. But trying to use talent over teamwork every single round, playing against other great players that are also talented, will not always pan out in your way. It just won't.
All right, guys. So we are
All right.
going to transition into, we're going to lightly talk about Rookie of the Year and who we like, and then we're going to do the call-in. So I'm going to drop a link to the Discord in chat. If you guys have any questions, get those ready, join the stage, and come in here. So I'm going to drag us all over, and then let's get the stage going. All right. So,
Frankie Mojo's already win.
all right, guys. So let's just quickly. I wanted to get this going because after this major, we're gonna dive way deeper into it, do like an analysis of performance, team results, all that. But right now, let me start off with you, Ben. In terms of Rookie of the Year, who do you think is in the discussion currently? And do you think anybody is like sort of running away with it at this point yet?
it's a clusterfuck. I gotta be honest. This is a real clusterfuck of a year because you can make a case for a bunch of different guys. They've all contributed in different ways. And I gotta be honest, this one's gonna come down to how teams play at this event and at Paris. Like it just really is gonna be a differentiator because you could slice stats any way you want for most of those guys, but there's still a lot of COD left to
Yeah,
be
who
played.
are the top five?
I would say in my mind, I have Kips, Neum, Lurks, and then the fifth spot. I mean, you could go, I guess, Mamba or Praise.
I think on the outside looking in that.
I would say
Those
let's
four.
keep it at 4 if there's only 4.
Yeah, I would probably go with just those 4. And if I were to order it myself, I think I'd probably go Trakes 1. I would probably go Neum 2 at this point. Then I would go Kips and Lurks tied in that third spot. And I don't think the separation for any of those is crazy. Like I legitimately think it's super close. Like I wouldn't be mad at anybody interchanging any of those. Legit.
It's just hard because, like, I think Trakes has played so well, but then you're going to go look at how they've actually placed at events, and you're like,
well, yeah,
fuck, like, how
that
do
can
I
change. That can change.
how do I reconcile that to like Neum, just one of mine, or like Kips is?
well, that's why I like Neum a lot. And Neum's
so
real.
hard.
Placings don't mean shit for this vote because Abuza would have won the Rookie of the Year at the Gwyn if
I voted
placing
for
mattered.
Abuza. Keep that. Remember that
saying.
chat.
They
I
give you when
hard
the
voted for
league does
Abuza.
this, they give a criteria, like how you're supposed to weigh it, or they just say fuck it, do it.
Well, like the way they do it, it's like it's way more individual based. Easy Mac kind of spearheads that, which I think is why Gwen ended up winning. But it's a combo of like the stats and then a vote. It's like weighted. But yeah, so I think in that year in particular, like we had a lot of people that voted for Abuza, but Gwen ended up winning. I know me and Jay voted for Abuza. There are definitely some Gwen votes. But yeah, so it's combo of individual. I don't know how much team success weighs in. I do think team success should weigh in like a little bit. I personally
100%
think
should. What are we talking about?
yeah, I personally think
100%.
that's why I personally think Neum is. I think for what he's asked to do and what he's given that team, you're talking a guy that snipes, that gets objective work done, like goals and overload. He's completely transformed their overload. They've been unreal at it. Well, until I guess recently, the last couple overloads been weird for them. Well, up until this point, he's been great there, and he uses a sub, uses a sniper and an AR. I think he's spectacular. So yeah, I'll be curious this year what it ends up who ends up winning it, because it's going to be like with the criteria that it's been at for years. It's going to be a weird one, bro.
So how does it normally work out? Do you have to submit your votes before the end of the last event, like, or is it that like when does it have to be in by?
It's regular season, so it doesn't include champs.
Well, I know. So like, do you have to submit it before
Right after
the end of major
the
four?
end of the last event. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Like literally the Monday, I think you do like the votes on Rookie of the Year and MVP.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, it's like Lurks has had a great season, but like, will Carolina do anything to qualify for fucking champs? If Lurks carries his team to a champs qualification, he's gonna have a good shot of winning this.
If they make champs, yeah, bro, he has a great chance because he's been insane.
But there's like so many events left in one minor. Trakes, Kips, and Neum are all on like contending fucking teams that could.
I'm pretty sure
Lurks
champs doesn't matter for this,
win.
right? Champs was because they literally announced the winners at the start of champs.
No, but
so champs
but
doesn't
if they qualify for champs, Lurks would have a good chance because he's statistically probably.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like we made champs the year that Abuza should have won, and then Gwyn didn't make champs, and Gwyn still won. Doesn't change anything.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to get Mac on.
Unfortunately, guys, it's an award vote.
I think his stats probably were just crazy.
It's always these award votes are always perception and subjective. We can sit here and be empirical about it. We can go through data. At the end of the day, not everybody votes the same way.
Anyways, what's your guys' opinion?
Tough.
Like, who do you guys think's leading the way currently? I think it's Trakes currently.
I think that's hard to disagree with. Honestly, I think they're all really in the same bucket. Like even Lurks to me is
are.
No,
like
Lurks
has had some really, really good moments this year. If we're thinking like recency, then yeah, it's easy to like bring up Miami and Trakes as the leading charge. And Kips has played really good against every team except Optic this year, so it's hard not to put him as well. Like he's
look at Kips'
definitely helped that
rating,
team.
insane. He's second to only Scrap, above Simp and Mercules. Lurks is right here as well with a Slayer rating. I think he's got the highest Slayer rating in the league. Lurks is the highest Slayer rating. These guys are nuts, dude.
Dude, Trakes versus Kips in the head-to-head comparison on sheet on this.
Trakes versus Kips. We do Trakes versus Kips.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do Lurks too. We got some
I'm
good
pretty
rookies
sure
this year,
this is probably like the first year that I can remember where the top rookies, like we'll just use these four, are actually gonna be staples in the league for a long time.
I 100% agree.
Will actually help. Like we'll actually be on like easily be on good teams in the future.
Yeah,
these guys are like the same,
you know?
bro. Look at this. So we got both of them are pretty dead equal in hardpoint. I mean, damage wise, Kips definitely clears Trakes. You look at land performance, you'd probably say Toronto's had more success, but Trakes and Miami just went to the final of the minor. S&D, this is hardpoint still. S&D, Kips has been standout. He's been good, but their S&D sucks. So like, how much do you really? It's hard. And then Overload, very similar. If you take Trakes and Lurks, right? You have to take into account the situation Lurks is in. He's probably on the worst team of all those players, right? So you go Toronto, Miami, LA Thieves. Lurks is by far in the worst situation, and he's been frying. But I think what holds him back is his S&D is really bad.
I just think it's a fun conversation to have. I think those four are really in it. Will someone else stand out after this event and make it complicated? Maybe. We get clarity because one of these guys plays at a fucking MVP level at this event and pulls ahead. Maybe. We're like at the, we're starting to make that turn. You're at a horse race. You're starting to make that turn to the home stretch. Some guys are going to catch up from the back. Some may fall back.
Hey, yo.
There's still a lot to play for here. It's a good analogy.
You're gonna catch it from the back.
I just watched a Kentucky Derby where someone won from fucking last. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know.
It's a Nasimerism.
Whoa.
But yeah, so
it's a lot to play for.
Yeah, I mean, how would you decipher? So let's just say Lurks qualifies for champs, right? Everything stays the same. Let's say Miami and Toronto, alternate, and Trakes gets a top 4, then Miami gets a top 4 at major 4, and Lurks and them get like top 8. How do you differentiate that? That's super difficult. If he keeps performing like this,
comes down to subjectively.
Yeah, it
comes down to subjectively how those players play in the big series on Saturday and Sunday. That's usually what these voters come down to a situation like this. It's just going to come down to how these players play in the big series at this event.
Is that what the criteria is? Do we know?
There is no criteria.
I think it's just stats and vote. Like that's kind of what it is. Like obviously you have to have some like a decent amount of team success, I would think. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't say Carolina's not having any success. They're still like a competitive team. They're still the one team that's out of champs by like what 20, 30 points.
I don't know how we're tipping ninth, but sure. Okay.
Whoa, I'm saying
like okay.
I would
He's
say
still in the race.
Destination
I
Mouse,
would, I would
okay.
say for the Lurks one, it's just he's battling against like any of those teams. If he was on, the situation is immensely better. Would you guys
Yeah, but
disagree
he's
with
also
that?
like, I love Lurks, but like he's
His
been great at
his
respawn. Don't get
S&D
me
is not
wrong, his
good.
S&D is not that good. Okay,
I agree.
let's get that a buck.
I
And
definitely
like
agree with that.
I just again, there's still a chance for Carolina with this specific event format, right? You're not starting losers bracket in a one and done, playing in a play-in match in a one and done. They're starting in group stage. You're gonna get two chances to get out of groups, then into another chance where you get two losses. So like there's a lot
Neum,
of
bro.
there's a lot of safety in this event if they want to actually get a good place in. I like Neum too, but
Neum's
again,
just
it's gonna come down to the way these have happened in the past is it is a game of perception and PR, and it's going to come down to how these guys play in the big series on the weekends, and like that will push guys ahead of others in that conversation. And that's usually, from my understanding about how people generally lean to vote. They may vote differently, and we'll see.
I think our
But,
sheet
it's
is giving
the
us
only way to
Trake's
conclude the
edge
logjam.
versus everybody but Kip's, Ben. Pretty sure.
Yeah, but there's still 2 events in a fucking minor left. I
Yeah,
think,
we're just doing
it's cool
mid-season
combo,
check-in. Do a mid-season check-in. All right, let's do call-ins then. All right, let's shift our gear and let's do the call-ins. All right, if you guys want to ask a question, join now. This is your opportunity. Let's bring Frankie in here.
How we doing, boys?
Good.
I'm gonna run the
I
restroom,
got a
but fire
bone.
it off.
All right, I got a bone to pick with you, Ang. You said I was getting shit on
All right, go ahead,
last week.
Go ahead, before I go ahead.
You said I was getting shit on last week because I
Yeah,
was
you're
talking about the
getting
NPC, how we gotta fucking, remove the fucking headshot multiplier and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker. I hear you disrespecting
You're
your
getting
most
slammed.
valued customer. All right, you're disrespecting your most valued caller. All right, I hear you. I
It's
see how
okay,
it is,
Frankie.
man. It's all
Listen,
good.
throw the pov up and we'll see if you're slamming or not. But
It's
go
all
ahead,
good, bro.
you
Hey,
ask
I
your
got
question.
I got
gotta
like
piss
10
bad.
nukes with the NPC, bro. Just trust. All right. Question is, I'm gonna do a follow up on Plaza. All right, because we talked a little bit heading into this stage about how Plaza is gonna be played. We were expecting a lot of just like bang outs in the club and seeing if anyone is going to actually try anything different, and we've seen that here and there, right? A lot of teams are opting to go B instead, but I feel like there was this notion going into Plaza where the general consensus was that bad teams are going to be trying to pick Plaza against good teams because they could just flip the coin at the club and just hit that bang out, and whatever happens, right? But I kind of feel like we're seeing the opposite. A good example would be like Optic versus Boston, where Optic just very clearly had the talent gap there and just smoked them on it. So a couple things I'm curious about is like, are we still expecting teams to try to flip the coin on those bangouts against teams where they very clearly don't have a talent advantage? And what do we think are we going to see against like 2 top teams on a map like Plaza, say Optic and FaZe? How do you think they would approach that club bang out situation? Would they spread the map a little more, or would they just straight up say, fuck it, we're the better team, I'm seeing you at the club?
I'll take this one. You could look at the map in like 20 different ways, but ultimately what it comes down to is it's kind of like playing rock, paper, scissors. There are certain things that are just better than other things. And if you accomplish certain strategies, like for example, if I bang out A on defense and they don't go A, then I can also provide an advantage for the team that didn't go A on their offensive push. So it's just the reason why people say it's a coin flip is just because the blind counters on that map matter a lot to which team comes out ahead after the first 10 seconds of the round. So like even if there's no kills, the map positioning and how the map's going to flow based on the early round has a huge impact, and there's no way to know, there's no information to get on what kind of leads to that. Like you can make assessments, you can scout, but at the end of the day, if a team decides to flip their mindset and be like, they played the first time, they banged out A every time on their offense, and then this next time they played, they didn't bang out until the last round. Like there's no way for you to know that really going into it. It's kind of just guessing. It's guesswork. So I think that's, first off, just to answer your coin flip thing, that's why people treat it that way or see it that way, which is why if I'm a team that's not good at search, by the notion of being able to react from information, then that's a map that can circumvent that because there isn't any information to react to. It's very much just based on me doing something in the first 10 seconds and hoping it works. Past that, I think the teams that are good at search will mostly, in my opinion, will probably veto that map just because they want to stay away from, like, what makes you good at search on the app isn't really something that will make you good at search on the other maps, and vice versa. And this map is very much, I don't want to say the only map that is this way, but it's definitely the one that's the most bipolar compared to the other maps, right? Like, we can all agree that there are other maps where you can bang things out, but not as much, or not going to impact the game as much as this one does. So I think when two top teams played, it's very much, it's there. So here, I'll speak from experience. We have found ways on defense, when you don't bang A out and the team bangs A out on offense, to allow yourself to spread the map quickly, and that comes from banging out mid. And I think that's something we haven't necessarily seen in pro matches this year. We've seen it a few times, but mid-map control means a lot more, I think, than people think yet, so far from what we've seen at the pro level. And I think once teams start figuring that out, then it may not be as annoying as people think. It's still annoying because the team that goes in A first still has a bet, like, they have map control, they can plant the bomb, they still have a chance to win the round. But it's not as good as people think, I think, so far. So
look how Toronto played this. It's kind of like, we've seen some variety. We've seen more variety than I think we thought we would see.
That's my point. Like, we are seeing some different strategies, but we are seeing a lot of teams. Like, I think it happened like FaZe Miami as well. Like, there were a lot of just like club bang outs where they just let the
like,
there was.
So just for example, what Toronto does here, it's still like the only team that reacted off the info they got was Optic. And the problem here is that they react too soon because they think that because they're not going early on, they're going to go B. So they're trying to like not give him B. But then Toronto just plays with the idea that like Optic is probably going to do what they did.
Yeah, there's a degree of
and
luck.
Then they go back. But it is luck based. There is no guarantee that Optic is going to do what they did there every time. You're just kind of assessing mentalities and how people are going to do certain things, and they guessed right here. But it is, at the core, it is still kind of guesswork.
So what Ray's describing is what we call metagaming. So like, you start the game off with like the two basics, you do it, and then you can metagame based off it. Like, oh, they're probably gonna bang it, right? Which is like, it's not actual like strategy. It's just kind of like, there's like a little bit of guesswork to it, and it's a little bit of strategy, but it's like a mental game, and you can do that on this map.
Feel like,
which is fun. It's kind of
more
fun.
Metagaming. Do you guys feel like there's more metagaming on Plaza more than any other S&T map? Because
no,
I do.
No,
there's metagaming on Scar. That's like a big piece.
Well, Scar's the other map where like the offensive bomb cheese, right? So,
yeah.
Scar's different though, because like that other bomb site in front of that like green window is just like so unviable compared to like the B site here on Plaza. It's a good bomb site you can go to. You can get a lot of different setups there, and it's way more viable than that Scar setup, which is why I feel like the metagame on Plaza in particular is pretty interesting. And that's why I asked, like, I think you have a good point, Ray, where like top teams are probably gonna end up vetoing Plaza against each other. But I'm curious about like a best of 9 grand final situation where the odds of Plaza popping up are more likely. I really want to know how teams a top team would play it.
I'm gonna answer your question. It may we may see it outside the grand final, because you might run into a situation between one team and another where you look at the S&E map pool and it's like, our opponent are really good at Den, really good at Scar. We go through the vetoes, and like, what's our best chance to win? To take a risk on Plaza. Maybe we have a good game plan, good feel about how we match up with that team versus, say, like a Den or a Gridlock. It may just play out that way. The tough thing with the online matches with these top teams, with their phases, with your Optic, with your Thieves, is like, and Ray, maybe you can speak to this. It's like, we're already qualified for a chance. We obviously don't want to lose every match we play in this online stage, but like, us playing an old map in Scar S&D that we played fucking all year, how much are we going to actually learn by playing this online before we get to the event, as opposed to a new map where we need to get reps and like kind of feel it out?
Yeah, it's an interesting question though. But I think I kind of agree with you. It's probably been better than expected, Frankie. And the metagame it's entertaining. Is it like inherently the peak of competition or competitive integrity? Probably not, but it has been fun. Like some of the rounds, like even the one we just showed from Toronto, and I think Miami and Riyadh both showed a couple of good B looks. But we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it on Sundays.
It's such a weird map to watch, because it's either like everyone's just super annoyed at it because rounds end in 10-15 seconds, Or both teams spread a map for a round, and you get some really interesting mind games going on.
Yeah.
And it's just one or the other. There's no in between on it. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the question,
But
Frankie.
I
We'll
like
keep we'll keep
Appreciate it.
monitoring
No
that
problem,
going
boys.
forward. Appreciate you.
See you next week.
Everybody show love to Frankie in the chat. He's an absolute staple here.
Said see you next week.
That's our guy.
That's good stuff.
Mustafa, what up, bro? You're
You're
muted.
muted.
Yep. Yo,
Next.
I think that's it. We don't have very many call-ins this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
Well, all right. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys where you want to come in artistry? Either we listen, we'll give you guys a minute or two to join up and ask some questions if you want.
If someone wants to pull one in the chat, we can answer it too.
Yeah, we posted a Discord link.
I did.
I would say, Ant, just while we wait for more people here, like we should give people an update on what we're doing for content next week. So we're trying to do a show on Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Kind of our major preview show.
Everything is everything's fluid because my baby's coming. It could be at any point, but the plan right now is to try to do a show Tuesday next week, and then at some point during the major as well to do a show. Like I said, everything could change if baby decides he's coming right now. That can all change, but yeah, that's currently the plan right now, guys. So we'll be
Troidal asked a question in chat. He said the real question is, will Meltdown get the sake treatment in the next stage? Wasn't good enough for this stage, but will replace Plaza next stage.
I hope so. I think
I'm actually, I still don't quite grasp how we didn't have that in.
it wasn't even an option.
Anything, even that over Plaza, like we played Plaza early in Black Ops 2 and we removed it because it wasn't good, and then
Meltdown wasn't even. I don't think Meltdown was an option, so it'd be nice. I think.
Did you watch the LA Thieves? Finish your thought, and I'm gonna get a clip.
No, I'm just saying. I think we should definitely bring Meltdown in. And then I've heard, I haven't played. Maybe Chaz played it. I've heard Saki S&D is really good too. Because ideally we replace Scar S&D as well.
Where are the bums on sake?
I don't know. I haven't played it.
Ant, please, Ant, for the love of God, sake.
What do you mean, Saki?
Sake.
Bro,
Saki.
to pronounce it.
Sake.
Dude, sake.
All right.
A, like
So-
A, like
It's
you're
a
fucking
Japanese
Canadian,
word,
yeah.
bro. It's not English,
Not
dude.
sucky, bro.
All right. Well, this is a crazy hill to die on. Okay, sake. All right, I got you.
Thank you.
It's not crazy. It's not a crazy. It's the way you pronounce
It's
it.
language.
No, I'm saying for me, that would be a crazy hill for me to die on.
Yeah, okay,
but I
no,
haven't
no,
played Sake S&D.
Thank you.
But I've heard it's good from a couple of people. So, but, yeah,
Do you,
what was Turtles? Oh, he asked about the Meltdown. We got another
Yeah,
question in chat though from Spud. Does the Row Rookies play? Wait, why can't I see? Okay, does the Row Rookies play have much impact on getting Rookie of the Year? Kip says a great opportunity to drop numbers on
Yeah.
Koi. But Niam is in more of a
100%.
team role. Yeah,
100%.
yeah, probably.
It has to. There's no way around it.
I mean, yeah, because everything's involved, right? So it's like
There's
stats,
not then
performance,
if there was a bigger separation in roles that was like glaring to where like let's say it was Modern 2 back in the day where there was like clearly separating roles between the players and how they went about playing the game, then you could probably like bring that up as a talking point, but right now there's no, like, everyone's still using mostly the same stuff, so it's hard to dictate. It's more like play styles and roles.
Oh, we got people in here now. Let's go. All right, let's get Magic Artistry. What's up, dude?
Oh, hello. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of wanted to talk, or at least ask the question more about FaZe, kind of what you guys were talking about earlier, especially like Ben. Well, my question though is from a viewer's standpoint, right? Like, obviously, we're trying to we're watching these matches weekly, and then we're kind of like listening to a lot of you guys talk. How do we take like a lot of these conversations seriously when when the online kind of matches happen, you kind of like see FaZe like not perform as well or whatever it is, and then, but they're gonna go to LAN and they're gonna perform well, and the nature of the online matches is like, oh, it's gonna set up for like the seeding for champs or whatever it is, but like as long as they're performing well, like FaZe is gonna get like whatever, like get up to Sunday or whatever it is, like none of their underperformances online really matter, no?
Until they underperform in LAN, and then they're correlating that to 1-to-1, and you're like, we should have seen that coming. Like that's the only issue with that argument. They've gotten third and they've gotten first. If they go to this event and fucking get rounded in groups, then we're sitting here like, well, maybe when they were inconsistent
You're
online,
sitting here. You're sitting here. You are, not we. They were doing the same shit on like for the first stage 1 and stage 2, no?
Yes, but yes.
Then how did it not go both ways, Ben?
But I'm saying that if
like
they
the
don't
6th seed
perform
last
at LAN,
stage.
then that's okay. Right. I'm not saying they're not doing it now. I'm just saying that if they go to LAN and they have a bad LAN event, or maybe they have 2 bad LAN events before champs, like that's the conversation we're having. Where now it's like, well, they got to a hot start, and then the online and LAN is looking similar. Like, it's kind of a weird question to like answer. Like, I don't know.
They went
like,
6 and 5 last split and then won, by the way.
Yeah. So.
They went 22 and 19 map count. They were not world beaters
They
at
weren't
all.
even guaranteed to be. They weren't even guaranteed to be like in the winners. Like we were talking about them potentially not even making the LAN event. Like there was, remember that? Like it was like 5 or 6 matches in. They were like looking at a relegation game to play fucking GT. Was it Gentlemates potentially? Like if we looked at the matchups, like
yeah, it's been no different. I mean, they're
like
just
bro,
the same.
it's just we need to just stop with that.
Yes,
Yeah.
but again, right? And you know, I'm a big fan of the way FaZe play, but it's like.
Are you?
We're yes. On LAN I am. Online, as we fucking discussed earlier. And like, but I again, like, if they go to this event and it's similar to online where they just getting pummeled in the middle of the maps and letting the slang get away from them and getting away for the basics, then we're gonna like sit back here and be like, well, maybe we should have seen it coming.
Well,
when they were
yeah,
doing
if
this
they get
online.
3-0
It's not like
slammed
them.
on LAN, it's a different discussion. Like, and don't
Yeah.
bounce back. But it's just, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, from like
they got the benefit of the doubt for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like from like the audience or like from my perspective, it just seems like the player just draws a like online, like he's kind of like up or down, but on LAN he's just kind of like always showed out. So that's kind of like my point of view.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's definitely fair to bring up. Like, I think with like when you watch these teams online, you just kind of look at what they're struggling with. So like, for FaZe in particular, if they were to play Miami on LAN, I don't know if I would expect it to go that much different. Like just because of the way that they play against that team, right? So you just don't have to take everything as like such like a blanket statement. Or when you hear Ben or some other people talking about it, like, no, FaZe aren't absolutely screwed, but they play Miami, it might get a little dicey, right? So, I mean, clearly for FaZe, right now, the hardpoint isn't as strong as it was at the major, right? There's new maps that got added. Like they clearly have a little bit of work to do. But yeah, I mean, they'll be fine by the time major comes. It's a professional outfit. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. I just look at it as just a matchup thing.
Fair. Appreciate the question, Mustafa.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys letting me come out.
Thank you.
I moved him out really quick.
You're good. You're good. We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Mustafa.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Is that Slasher?
Yo,
Yeah, it looks like Let It Go. Oh, he's out.
Come back,
Welcome back.
Busy.
oh,
Let It Go.
I'm back. Hello.
Are you a big Liddy
Oh, you see the
fan?
profile pic, is it? Yeah, big Liddy fan. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
I met him in Madrid. I met you guys in Madrid and Birmingham as well. I didn't get a chance to meet you, Rambo, though, in Madrid because I won't tell you what happened there, but you were out at
seen
day
it.
1 or 2, I think.
I was there. I wasn't a fan. I was in the crowd the whole event, though. I was there.
Oh, you were.
Yeah,
Oh, very
we were
cool.
watching. We were watching.
I met you guys. I met you, Ben J, in the sports bar in Birmingham. So I did, and I met you, Nameless, and
Yeah.
Remember everyone was with the high vises and shit, before the media day and stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, the
That's
question,
J
Marathon
location
experience,
immediately
yeah.
sports bar.
the question for me anyway is like, what player do you think is most rated differently by fans and pros?
Ooh.
Good question.
I think
I have a few
Draza.
over the years I could give. Draza, yeah.
Whoa, but all the fans know Draws is a blue chip player. They know he's good. Everybody knows he's good.
Trying to think. Like
We should also think about it inverse too. We should think about players that fans think are good and pros also are not so high.
Can I give one
Yeah.
from a few years ago?
Yeah.
There's a few pros told me GodRX in like 2020, like some of the pros like didn't rate him, but like the fans were like glazing him on Twitter and shit. I remember.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
that's,
fans look
He's
at
one of the
statistics.
slowest players in Modern Warfare
Yeah.
2019. He was baiting his whole fucking team.
Yeah,
Like,
Like
look at
everyone was wondering like why he didn't get in the league in Cold War. Sorry to interrupt you, man.
all the super kill oriented player the fans love and the competitors typically aren't fan of. So
Would you say
yeah,
that's
pros.
like a
I
thing
would
now
say,
with,
yeah, you know what it is? The pros, maybe it's shifted now, but Risey just said it. I think the pros have been thinking Super's not that good for a while, just from what I've seen and heard. And the fans all think he's godlike. And I think Super's a good player too, solid player. But
I mean, he's adapting. He's changing. If he's going to change his ways, it's fine. Again,
up until this point, though, I think it's been like
this
that.
This is the thing for me is like I feel like most, if not, I don't want to say all, but like we'll just use most professionals have the skill and talent to compete at highest level. Not all of them have the mindset and the knowledge to do so in a way that's conducive to winning. And I think that's the biggest difference is the fans don't really see those things because you see the match slate and then you see statistics. Like for the most part, you generalize a player by seeing what they do in a game once a week, and if they win or lose and how well they do win or lose. Just like in the same way you watch certain teams be like, oh, this guy's getting costed because he's dropping crazy stats, and the rest of his team's not doing well, and you're like, well, this guy's getting costed. This guy's obviously good. Like there are certain players in situations that are perceived as these players are good, but again, behind the scenes and how you really do and accomplish things to win, some of those guys don't have it or haven't learned it yet.
I'd be curious. So I got one. I think fans all think TJ's dog shit, but a lot of pros think he's solid. I think that's definitely
he always
one.
gets to the league, you know.
He
He always
keeps
gets
getting
back in the
spots,
league.
But I'd be curious this one because I actually don't know the perception. I would love to ask a few different pros. I doubt they'd say it out loud, but I wonder what all the pros think of Nasty at this point, and the way that like his individual performance, and because
I'm not gonna say anything here.
all the fans think that he is godlike. I think Nasty's solid, but yeah, I'm wondering.
I watched him back in Challengers since like 2020, and like he used to run a sub back then, and now he's like a main AR now. It's very different for me to see.
He's
but
a very
he's
adaptable
versatile
player. Very
Yeah,
good player.
I think Cap put it best once on the show we were doing last year. Like he's like Byron is like you're playing like sports game. He's like that 82 overall that everybody loves because he's just very adaptable. He's not gonna go out and just dominate, but like you're always gonna get in a good team a consistent performance from him. And you need guys like that. Like he's always gonna put in a good shift in a good situation.
So he's like, I know you got your Madden game coming up here in 12 minutes, man. So he's like your Jameson Williams.
No, he's like.
How many yards does
he's
JMO
not
have on the
JMO.
year right now?
A lot. I threw multiple bombs to JMO last game.
Oh,
Nah,
reliable.
he's like I don't know. He's like he's a demon. If I could actually get a fucking run game going, you know what I'm saying? Like,
fair enough. Yeah, I mean it's an interesting thought. You know, I guess
Good
I
question.
mean, do pros? I mean, the Boston must rate Purge. Fans all think he's dog. So yeah, I don't know.
I'd seen a
Boston
Boston
team
situation.
You'd have to ask pros this question.
That's a good
I
question.
think
Besides, like,
generally the way it's going to
yeah.
be is like fans are going to overvalue players that get a lot of kills. Players are going to not value players that don't play within system, go rogue, make a lot of mistakes, and maybe they get bailed out by talent. But the pros feel like playing with them or what they do on the map is like not consistent, and it's going to lead to unperformance in big situations.
Yeah.
That kind of summarize it.
Yeah, I think Insight's another one too. You know, some people just maybe they find it easy to play with him, so it's like the pros like to play with him, but the fans obviously, you know, they don't like to look at the scoreboard. So
Yeah. Thank you, Dizzy.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you.
it.
appreciate it.
All right, let's do.
Man, give him a second to say thank you back.
My bad. I'll give him.
How you guys doing?
I'll give him a second. I'm just like I look up to that screen. I'm already on it, and then you know.
What up, Woody?
How y'all
Oh, yeah.
doing?
What's up, bro? Nice having you.
I got a really quick question.
Sure.
Who is your Mount Rushmore of worst players in the league right now?
Oh my god.
Jeez.
That's such a
You're the one that tweeted that to the flank, didn't you?
Oh no, I actually didn't at
No?
all.
Okay, someone posted the same
Mount
picture. Same
Rush.
question.
Can I just put C9?
No shot. That is actually hilarious. I just made this my
C9 and-
Discord picture like half an hour ago.
Purge.
I got
C9 and
C9.
Purge.
Yeah, and Purge.
I would maybe remove Nedra from that conversation, but like both the ARs on C9 and Purge would be like the three.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
And then hide.
I just wanted like a trolley question, but thank you.
Thank you.
I let him say thank you.
There you go. Good man.
All right. What's up, Mustafa?
Back.
Finally, yes, microphone's working now. I've just got a question about Falcons specifically. I mean, they've not done so well this year. They've finished at the bottom half in the majors. At what point during this year do you think that the organization is going to be willing to make a change? And focusing on Rambo is like, what do you think in terms of team building and synergy? Like, what do they need to look for in the player that they pick that's going to make like a large change, not incremental, but like a huge change in how they play? I know they've got like their academy and there's QK, there's a few players, but they've already tried them. I'm probably assuming they've not seen a massive difference. I think Exnid was one of the big things where he's mostly the player that's probably going to look to change. I do have a bias towards him, but I think he's had the opportunity. Everyone knows about him. If he does go back to challengers, he'll probably come back up because he did fry in 8s last year. He's got amazing POV, but I think this year, I think it would make sense to get somebody else and just let other people try. There's amazing rookies. And I think even if you've got a bias towards Exnid, I think he's had an opportunity. So yeah, just what do you think?
So here, let me ask a question back. Do you feel like this team hasn't proven being capable of winning at any point this year?
I actually think in the qualifiers for Major 1, they were doing really well. But then
I think
after
Major 2 stands out even more. Major 2 was they played really well. Major 2, they were top 1, top 2 in Overload and Hardpoint with Optic. Statistically, their surge held them back, as it has for some. I mean, I don't want to say most teams, but a lot of the teams this year that have been good in Respawn for whatever reason have not been able to put it again into Surge. Besides a few teams, which to me has been kind of one of the bigger difference makers in who's been able to win tournaments or not. So I think that this is the hard part when, like, just answering your question, I think the hard part when you're looking from an outside, from where we stand, where we're not involved in the daily process and progress of the team, it's hard to pinpoint what changed and what part of the team really needs change, if any change is needed at all. And for me, it's even more difficult looking at it from an outside perspective because this team is proving capable of playing at the highest level. Granted, they haven't showcased that on LAN, but online is for Respawn specifically, they have shown progress. They have shown consistency, progress and consistency through the year. Granted, their recency has been going that well, but it's kind of easy to pinpoint the attempted roster change as maybe like one of the factors in the recent kind of struggles they've had. Sure. But I think more or less like dictating and pointing at a change specifically from where we stand just based on how they've played recently, to me would almost be like stupid on our part, just because we don't know what's going on internally, where the lacking in aspects of where they need to be able to win is. Because again, in my opinion, in Major 2, like if they were able to perform at the level they were performing online going to that major, and they would have had hope, like we were talking online before, like in one of the shows leading to that event, we were talking like if they can figure out a solid S&D map they can pick and consistently at least have a chance to win in their series, that's a team that I saw going to Sunday in that event, just with how they were playing. And it's not showing up on LAN is a way, like we did the same way Miami's been doing. I mean, we kind of like pinpointed why Miami, but at the same point, like in the same wavelength, a team that is playing well and conducive and is playing efficiency online and not doing the same on LAN, that's a whole different ballgame of things to solve. Like that's more of a mentality thing than anything else. Like it could be pressure handling by some players. Like there's so much more to it that we don't know from an outside perspective, to me, that like I can't really answer your question specifically. To me, the change is to not make a change and to find their way back to where they were in Major 2, and then find a way to to chain that into an actual event so that they can prove out how good they are as a team.
I mean, just towards that, I've got like 3 things off the top of my head. I mean, number one is this from the organization and business perspective as well. The investment they've put into Pred, the investment they've put into Celium, it's like I don't see them wanting to completely have that investment as a loss. So I'm sure they're looking to win something while they still have them. So even if they would get to like losers final, winners final, even if they get a top 3 placing, that team's only successful if they win something. I don't think they're looking at top 3. They are obviously looking at success in terms of improving, but unless they win something this year, I think that's a loss in investment. So
I think you're
maybe
spot on
they
with that.
double down and invest more and get players like Lurks, or maybe they don't invest and try
That's
to get
gonna be
rookie
hard.
from challenges. But at what stage do you think that if they keep not getting in the top 3, not winning something, at what point during this year do you think that they would have to make a change if they don't win something?
It'll be at this stage. Ant and I talked. Was this the last episode where you and I had this convo, Ant, about the situation that's happening there?
Well,
with
if they
regards
don't-
to the investment to be-
It was last episode, and we kind of just said, like, if they're at risk of not making champs, then they have to. Like, if it gets to that point.
No, but the other part of that convo about the, like, they can't drop X in the
Yeah,
part.
if that's the case and they can't do that, then they're in like kind of a hell spot. But like,
They
but I
are
think what
in-
you're asking is like, when would push come to shove and they have to make a change, right? That's what you're asking. Yeah, if
It's
you
at
don't
this
make it to
match.
champs, if Riyadh don't qualify for champs with the amount of investment that you just mentioned, it would be a colossal failure. Like,
I'm gonna say this: if they don't, my guess is if they get top 6 this event and they lose to the eventual event winner, and maybe they lose to the team that got first and second, you look back and you're like, okay, it's just tough. Like we could have gotten top 4 with a better draw. But if they get 6th this event and they don't play, I don't play well, I think they make a change. Like they got to do something going in the last stage. And to the point we made on the last show, unfortunately, they have a very odd situation with regards to a roster change that doesn't exactly give them a lot of options. I do also know that they checked in on situations elsewhere, but as we discussed, I think either on the flank or on the last show, like I asked around and Lurks' buyout number that like Carolina is quoting is like not a number that anyone's gonna be willing to pay. So it's like they don't have a lot of great choices considering their situation.
I mean, of course, they would
And,
want
this
Lurks, 'cause
schedule-
it would solidify them for champs if they got Lurks, right? It would just take that
Yeah.
team out of contention.
Let me put my coach hat on. If I'm in their shoes, I'm looking at it objectively and like if there is still progress and there's still like the team dynamic itself isn't chalked and there's still belief within the roster that they can achieve things, and you still, again, you've seen high moments this year where this team has been able to compete and beat the best teams. Like, then you have the players to do it. Looking elsewhere isn't really something that's going to immediately solve your problems, especially if you're having to go pick to the challenger pool. Like, there's no, like, not saying that could make you better, but there's also the chance that could make you worse. And it's a gamble that maybe isn't worth taking if your situation isn't as bad as it seems. Because we don't know. Like, again, like things internally could be smooth. Like, we've seen some frustrations on the cameras and matches, which I've been on. Again, I've been in the league for a while, like 5 years, whatever, and I've been on plenty of team situations that they've shown frustration after a game, but our dynamic is still good. It's just, dude, it's a moment of the match. Like you lost, you're not happy, people get pissed. So there's no, again, kind of coming back to it, there's no real way to know what's going on internally. So for us to assess what the right move is, to me, is not smart. I think it's a matter of, if I'm in their shoes, I'm looking at our team dynamic and the structure and how things are progressing. And if I feel like again, they have players that are capable of winning. They have 3 world champions on the team. They clearly can do it. You just got to find a way to get them playing together and believing in what they're doing, and then find a way.
Can I
to
say
find
one thing,
consistency
Ray?
there.
Unfortunately, this is not one of these old school teams where like ownership will listen to players and coaches and make a choice. It's way more top down. It's the way Falcons run pretty much all their esports, and like that split, like ownership may just say it's we got to do it, and like players and
Would you not
coaches
feel like
gotta
if that was the
just deal
case,
with
they would
it.
have done it already?
Yeah, like
I
if
mean,
they,
I think they were thinking about it, and that's why they did the trial, because they were trying to, and then it's just
Well, they realized
they
the
have
grass
really
isn't
weird
greener.
situation, bro.
if they were compromised completely, that like when they make a change, it will indicate if they're compromised completely. Clearly, these guys
Yeah.
got to have some sort of composure if they're running it back with this team. Yeah, I mean, I think Ray's right. Like, there's no way to really know what's going on in that camp, right? Like, we can make assumptions and we can guess, but they ran it back, and they're still going out there giving it their best effort, and they've looked better in our last couple of
what I want to
matches,
say
so.
about this, I mean, what I want to say about that is, like, number one, it's like, for example, football, taking the analogy of like having Arteta, having like a manager who instills a culture over the long term, and then even if you just see incremental improvements year on end, I mean, that's one thing, and some teams will go.
But
for
they're
that,
not.
and
They're
some
not
teams will
Arsenal.
improve.
They're fucking Chelsea in this situation. They're blue coat,
Yes,
and they
in
pump
this
a lot of
situation,
money
they're
and
not
got
winning.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not winning. They're investing so much money, even if they see incremental change, that's not a win for the organization of someone of Falcon's stature.
Oh, I mean, you're
So
right.
that's one thing. And then secondly, I guess for Rambo, it's like you said, Major 2, that there was a lot of improvement. I'm casual, so I don't really see. I know a team's winning. I don't know why they're winning.
Right.
So do you think that the team, as they played in Major 2, got great synergy from the screen, from the eye test, that everyone's playing comfortably in their position?
Online, yes.
Online in Major 2, I would 100% say yes. And then that's why, to me, I was big on them moving forward. Like, again, for the except in the Search and Destroy, I think the Search and Destroy is the one part that they quite hadn't figured out yet, like how they want to go about it. Like you were, it sounds like you were kind of adverting to roles. Like, I definitely think there was some discomfort in how they approached the mode collectively, like strategically as a team or even individually. But in terms of respawn, I definitely think 100% yes. I test pass everything. Like, this team was in a position to go big at the major if they could sneak some S&Ds. They were going to win at least 2 of the 3 respawns if they played the way they played online against any team in the league. So that's where the difficulty is, and where, like, if I was in their shoes, like, a change. Unless something's really like, unless I'll say the fruit punch was spiked, like the punch bowl was spiked. I don't know if you guys know the analogy, but maybe I'm a little old here and talking about that. But if there was something just really bad internally going on, where like there was something that was beyond repair between the players, between the team and the culture and what was going on, that's maybe the place where change is necessary. But in terms of like the gameplay itself, like everyone talks about Xnid. Like, to me, Xnid made some really, really good progress this year.
He's not the reason they lost at the major.
Like, he's no, bro. Like even recent matches, like everyone talks about him. Like, he's the obvious one to point out because he's not North American. He hasn't been competing forever. He has no pedigree compared to the rest of the guys, right? And he's still new to the league. Like, but this guy's made some really good progress. Clearly, from a skill standpoint, I think we can all agree that he's up there. It's just the intangibles and the consistency at which you play the game maybe hasn't been his forte, but that takes time. And I think like, looking from the outside, if they were to make a change, I think most people would think that he would have been the one to make change. And clearly, when they did their player testing, it was to try and get QK in, right? I think that's what the test was. I don't know if that was the... So then they clearly have still interest. Like, we can kind of assume from the outside they want to keep Saudi presence in the team. And I 100% believe Xnid right now, just because of all the things that he's learned and the progress he's made, is clearly their best option to stick there.
Well, it's a hard decision because if the players don't, if their number one thing is they want to win, and the players think that trading out or replacing Xnid is the path towards that, then they're in a tough spot, and their hand could be forced. But like, everything we're talking about is speculation. It's all on the organization. Like,
this is the event format for them, where again, same thing with Carolina. You're going to get a lot of chances at Atlanta. You get 2 in the group and 2 after that. Yeah. Like, this is a very forgiving event format where they can get their feet wet and get go, instead of what's happened where they've either just gotten dumped early or they've gotten thrown instantly to losers bracket, and then every match is like a do or die. Like, they can actually just kind of ease in on Friday and then see if, again, they can perform under pressure on the weekend, or they just will do the first 2 events.
That was a really good question.
Just to summarize that.
Yeah,
just to summarize, and then I can go. Don't want to waste your time. With the Falcons at the moment, based on what Ray's saying, they should keep at it. Hopefully at LAN they get some of that Major 2 back in them, and they do really well. But if by Major 4 they've not won nothing, they've not improved significantly, that's when you're going to change. And the reason I say Xnid is, like, I actually think he should stay, and I think maybe for the org, it's not even really about winning. It's more about winning with Saudi presence. So they might not even really care that much about changing the full team to NA. But the reason I say Xnid or Kismet is because just the investment. Like, I don't see them changing Celium or Pred this year.
Everything Ray said is with the caveat of if the team is willing to do that. Like, if the whole roster is willing to do that.
Don't take anything. Like, I didn't give you a specific answer. I'm just more assessing from an outside perspective where there is.
But the answer, if they get top 8 this event, I think it's done. If they get top 6 since 2 tough L's, maybe they stick. Top 4 and better, they probably stick.
Yeah, well, Damon, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the team was composed, you can bounce back from the last split because what was there on tape online was fantastic. But if after the trials,
you need people internally to make them believe that. Like, you need like the coach, the staff, like Clay and whoever else is involved in the staff, need to change the perspective of like, hey, that happened. It obviously wasn't great. Like we need to bounce back, and we know how good we can be. We've shown it before, but you need people that are constantly making that belief into the players. Like you can't let the players spiral because of that. Like it's obviously it's a lot easier said than done. Like we're all humans at the end of the day. Nobody likes whatever happened. Obviously, probably didn't help them, but you need to be able to look past it and be professional about it. Treat it moving forward. I think the one thing for me and where this is more me as a coach and looking things from an inside perspective where I was control of rosters and whatnot. Like I know we are in a result oriented business. I know results matter, but to me it's more about how you obtain those results and how I'll say obtain failures in the same way. If you're playing good COD and you lose close games and matches that could have easily gone the other way, it's like unless it consistently happens all the time, then okay, maybe. But like this team is clearly shown capable of winning. If they can get back to that level and they lose games playing at that level, it's towards the end of the season. Like every team's kind of good at this point. Like it's gonna happen. But if you've shown the level capable of winning, that's where to me it's like, okay, well, we didn't achieve success. Let's say, like Ben said, we get top 8 this event, but we've shown the level capable of obtaining a win. Then making a change is kind of like you're resetting your bar there. Like that change can potentially make you better in the long run, but most likely will not instantly make you better, especially given the fact that they have to go to challengers to pick up a player at this point. Like again, I think this team has shown. Sorry to beat around the bush here, but this team has shown capable of winning. I think they have the mold that they not saying they're going to win every event, but they have shown capable of being the best teams when they play their best. So then the only thing these guys should be caring about is getting back to that point and doing whatever they need to get back to that point. If it's fucking going out on team exercises, going whatever they want to do, golfing, go putting. I mean, I'm a golf guy, but
I've seen MC's golf swing. He ain't golfing. Bro.
Yeah, but you also have
whatever it is to get the vibes
you got to live
going,
and I don't want to go in circles, but you also have to live in the reality of like the team that they picked up. These guys want to win now, and if that process seems really, really far out for some of these guys, and if they're compromised and there's a guy they don't want to team with, you got hard decisions to make. So like I agree with you because I was on that train too. I thought what they put on tape was fantastic, and like obviously if you can get back to that. But I've also played, I've also competed, I've had teammates, and if somebody's frustrating me and I feel like it's just going to be impossible to get to that, then I've been compromised before. You've been on teams, you know what that's like, no matter how hard you try.
Can I just ask one
it's hard
thing?
to foster that environment. But yeah, make it quick though, because we're at 2.5 hours and we got to end the show.
Cool. I mean, just linking this with what Rambo was saying with like Vancouver Surge, when they would like placing second in every single tournament, basically, they showed aspects of winning. They were like a really good team. Like everyone loved seeing their players play. Would you say it was because of the play? I don't know what the dynamics were inside the team at the end of the year, but did the players just get sick of placing second and decide to just go to different teams, better teams? Because if they're stuck together, based on what they've seen, what do you think they could have won?
I mean, fuck it, I'll say
Detroit.
The organization wasn't willing to keep the play because all players were on their last year of their contract, and the money's obviously a big part of it. So it's in a way, let's say we had, it's there are some of it was yes, there were like just like any team, it's never even if you get second or win a lot of events, it's rarely sunshine and flowers. There's always frustrations going on. Like it's just part of the business, it's part of things. Like we did a good job managing our players and our team to be always looking forward to competing and doing the best we can what we got. But yeah, I think the team not sticking together is more a systemic problem of the offers they got elsewhere than anything else, to be honest.
All right. Thank you guys.
Mustafa, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Sorry this one went a little bit longer, chat. We had a lot to talk about. I thought it was a down week in COD.
W show though.
A W show. Ben, Ray, both incredible.
Always.
Yeah, as always, man. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Ben's got a skedaddle right now. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like, leave 5 stars. Peace.